Okay, we'll call the Pownal Select Board meeting to order on Thursday, April 16th, 2015 at 7 p.m. The agenda approval. Approval of the minutes of 4/2/15, 4/9/15, warrants, mail, old business. We have an update on the racetrack entertainment. Under new business, the county forester is going to talk to us. And we have to do a vote to join the Solid Waste Alliance, assign the alliance contract, appoint a person to be town representative for the alliance, and discuss draft SWIP, I guess, approval, pay as you throw ordinance for public hearing May 7th, and transfer station supervisor equipment purchase list.
Move to accept it.
Second.
Anything to be added? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, minutes of 4/2. Do I have enough people here that was there at that one? There's only two of us.
Nope.
Okay, we're not gonna do the 4/2. We'll have to wait till next time. 4/9. Again, you only have two, so that's a no as well. We'll do the minutes another time. Okay. Warrants. I'll give you the ones he's got done. There's enough of them. So you can keep going on the one he's got. Accounts payable. Ending. 4/10/15 in the amount of $8,888.69. Payroll ending 4/10/15 in the amount of $4,920.56. Payroll ending 4/17/15 in the amount of $7,238.02. And this is accounts payable ending 4/17/15 in the amount of $48,240, of which $33,400 of it was for the sewer bond expense. Just give me the front sheet of that one. Just give me the front sheet of it if you would.
This is the letters.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's mail. Okay. So I can get action on this one.
Move to accept it.
Second.
Any further discussion on the warrants in front of us, payroll or otherwise? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I'm going to jump the mail for a minute, and we'll go to Kyle and let you come up and talk to us about the forestry, if you would.
Yeah. As you probably know, the emerald ash borer, the insect that is currently decimating ash across the country, is just south of this town in Massachusetts and just west of this town. This kind of part of Vermont, Pownal, Bennington, Shaftesbury, has been identified by Barbara Schultz, who's our state's forest health specialist, as kind of the prime area where the insect may move in. As a result of this, we're attempting to up our observations of emerald ash borer for monitoring purposes in the towns of Pownal, Bennington, and Shaftesbury, especially in Pownal and Bennington. And I'm here today. I'm here today to ask permission from you folks whether we can use your town forest as one of our monitoring plots. We're attempting to get 10 in the two towns, and we're looking for however far you want us to be able to take it. So the ideal situation would be we would be observing in 4 methods. So we'd be using those standard purple traps you've seen around. A new trap that's a green trap. It catches it in a cup instead of on a sticky thing. Visual monitoring, so someone would do a transect and look at the ash that's present there. And then the last one would be to girdle one tree to create a trap tree. Makes a dying, essentially a weak dying tree that the insects are attracted to. It is then later cut down and then the bark is peeled. The ideal size tree is about 6 inches, so it's a small one. Something that's easy for the folks peeling to deal with. It would be one tree on site if you would allow that to happen. And so that's it. That's what I'm here for.
Would you be doing that? We have a number of small, we have a large forest, which is the old tannery property, which butts the New York State side. But we also have a piece that butts that, that's 45 acres towards down towards Palmer in the gravel bed in that area. Well, it's actually abuts Palmer's property is where it is. It used to be actually the forest we owned before we bought the tannery piece. And then there's one at the end of Swallow Hill that we own. I forget how many acres that is.
About 77.
So there's about 77 acres there,
Okay.
which is farther down, is beyond Palmer's gravel bed.
Okay.
So it would give you a pretty long stretch if you were using,
It-
each place along
It would
there.
be nice if we could put a smaller spot in each one of those, if you would be willing to let us do that.
Sure.
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 Okay.
Hey, would you mind just explaining who you are and
Oh, yeah,
who you
sorry.
represent for people that aren't familiar with our agenda that we have tonight?
Yeah,
Just
so I'm-
everybody knows.
Kyle Mason, the Bennington County Forester. I deal with use value appraisal program, and essentially I deal with private forest landowners and towns, municipal towns in Bennington County. So I can assist landowners in managing their property. I can assist towns in managing their property, and I also administer the current use program.
One of the things I caught on the news tonight was that Vermont is actually, for the first time in almost a century, is losing forest. It's getting less forest. Have you heard that yet? It was on the Channel 3 News tonight.
I would assume, I don't know the exact numbers, to be honest, but I would assume that is due to development. And,
More so than any
Right.
disease or anything that's in our forest.
yeah. I
Okay.
mean, development and fragmentation are probably the two things that are, at this point, are demolishing our forests, Back in the day, it was clearing for agriculture, and then all our forests grew back, and now we're slowly developing them here and there.
Are you going to do anything on the other side with the national forest? Are you testing that side as well as the west side?
Yeah, so National Forest has a few monitor plots of their own that they're monitoring, but they don't currently have any in Pownal, so we're attempting to set up one in their bowl area, the one they just purchased.
Okay.
So, and then Williams College is letting us use their property as well, which is, as far southwest as you can go in this town.
Yeah.
So do you find that the ash is growing throughout the whole, I mean, is there one area that's more concentrated in the ash?
Well, we don't have any known cases of the emerald ash borer in Vermont yet. That doesn't mean it's not here. We haven't found any evidence of it here yet. Ash does experience other problems. There's a phenomenon known as ash decline, which is a variety of factors that they've kind of lumped into one category. Most of the time it has to do with environmental factors. Ash is really susceptible to drought and things like that. So you'll generally see the crown fade out, and then the bark start to peel, and then the tree just kind of dies, and then native insects attack it, and you'll start to see native insect activity. And then there's also another disease known as ash yellows, which is a fungal disease that attacks buds, and it makes what's called a witch's broom. So instead of popping out like a regular branch, that bud puts out like a whole bunch and makes looks like the end of a broom. That tends to be in the warmer places of Vermont. So yeah, in this valley here in Pownal, you could see ash yellows, but we don't know of any cases of emerald ash borer yet. But if you look at cases, the problem is they start at the top of the tree and work their way down. So oftentimes they're there for a long time before you even start to notice them. Over in New Hampshire there, Manchester, New Hampshire, that outbreak that just came out there, it had been there 5 years before they noticed it. So chances are it's here, we just don't know where. I mean, the two things to really look for when you're looking for emerald ash borer is epicormic branching. So trees have these buds that lie dormant just under the bark, and when they get stressed out, they shoot little tiny branches out all over the place. So the insect can stress the tree and cause that to happen. Or the other thing to look for is what they call the blonding effect. So woodpeckers are extremely attracted to these trees when they get infested, and they start peeling the bark off, usually at the top because that's where the insect starts, and you'll see this kind of blonding appearance to the bark on the tree from that.
How close are they in different states now?
I think it's Dalton, Mass. That they are. It's like the town from here, and then over in New York, it's not far at all.
Because I went to a class probably a year ago that they spoke about emerald ash borer in Bennington, and I think Steventown was the closest place in New York at that time.
Yeah.
Which is close, but
Yeah, it's literally all around us. When you look at the quarantine maps, it's New Hampshire has an outbreak, New York has an outbreak, Massachusetts has an outbreak, and Quebec has an outbreak.
Really?
We're just in this middle zone where we haven't found one yet. That doesn't
Okay.
mean it's not here. We just haven't found it yet.
Does Vermont have the rule for firewood for campers? They can only go so far with it?
Yeah,
I know
so
New York does. I don't know about Vermont.
there's a new law that just got passed that gives the commissioner of forests and parks the rule-making rights to establish. Actually, they require him to establish a firewood policy, and I know he's just finished with that. I don't know the details of it yet, but yeah, it's coming.
Yeah, I know some people that sell firewood in New York State, and they were very limited to where in their county they could move the wood
Yeah.
to sell.
I believe it's going to be wood. Don't quote. I don't want to say the wrong thing, so maybe I just won't say it. I'll get you the
But
information.
they're working
when-
on it. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and actually, it's probably a good thing that you do send it out to a town when they do have it, so that the town can announce it, and people out there would see it and hear it, versus just having it in a newspaper or something.
Right. Right.
So we'll see the purple things that hang in the trees, the baskets.
Well, if you give us permission to do that,
Yeah,
we can work. I think Bruce Richardson manages your forest for you, so I would if you want me to, I would work with him to find a site or
Sure. That's-
however you want us to.
And he knows all the
proceed.
pieces of property we talked about. So,
He's probably the right one to talk to.
and with that said, can I get a motion to approve?
Move to approve it.
second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Great.
Got authority to do it.
Thank you,
Okay.
guys.
Vote to join the Solid Waste Alliance. You wanna make, Megan, you wanna come up and explain to us a little bit of what that is? I know we've talked about it before, but
So Vermont has instituted a universal recycling law, which goes into effect in July. And we've had pretty good recycling laws in Vermont since '89, right? and now but we've been stuck at 36% of possible recyclables getting, in other words, we're there at 36%. We can't seem to get any higher, get more recycling. So, and then the second thing is that Vermonters, like Americans, throw out anywhere between, I think there's a figure in the SWIP, but it's like 2 3/4, almost 3 pounds to 6 pounds, almost 6 pounds of trash to the landfill per day, per person. That's 5 or 6 pounds. That's too much. So the goal of the universal recycling law is to get that down, because landfills are toxic, hard to clean up, add to the carbon, whatever, add
Ozone.
carbon, ozone to, yeah, add carbon to the atmosphere, and are just, we just don't have, it's not the best use of land to put garbage under it. It's also not the best use of the ocean, but that's another state, But so that's the universal recycling law is requiring that individual towns up their recycling to 50% by in the next 5 years. Lower their landfill use by 25%. Recycle for free and institute a pay as you throw ordinance so that you pay for what you throw out. You know, you pay by weight. So, am I missing anything?
Well,
There's-
what I'm looking at here is that this is the thing they're asking us to approve, this Bennington County Solid Waste Alliance.
Okay, okay, I'm sorry, yeah, I said that. So, the universal recycling law was suggesting strongly that people either have alliances or that towns get together and do this. There's a lot to be done. The law requires a lot of informing the public, and encouraging schools and hospitals and restaurants to recycle in various ways or to dispose of their waste more environmentally. And so, because there's so much to be done, it's more efficient to have towns join together. So we opted to form an alliance. There were, and the towns in the alliance are Arlington, Bennington, Dorset, Glastonbury, Manchester, Pownal, Rupert, Sandgate, Searsburg, Shaftesbury, Stamford, Sunderland, and Woodford.
So all the towns, basically.
All is done joining in together, chipping in according to how much population they have, and trying to make an economies of scale, as far as like composting and stuff like that. So
So this alliance basically will be a group of people with members from every town that will get together and vote on and decide actions to be taken in the way of managing the solid waste.
right.
Okay, and in this packet that we got handed us tonight, it shows on page 3 that basically there's a number of votes each town, and it's based on population, and then the proportion that goes with each town. Now, one of the things, is there a fee in this alliance that has to be paid every year, or is it just
Well, there's no specific fee that's been discussed. Let's put it that way. But it's I don't know if you saw the banner on Friday. I think it was last Friday, or Thursday or Friday last week. Trevor from TAM made it very clear, that it is going to cost more money, and naturally he wants to come out and tell people that loud and clear so that nobody blames him when he raises his prices. So it is. For instance, in the solid waste implementation plan, they keep talking about alliance contractor. Somebody's going to have to be
manage it?
do the outreach to schools and businesses. There's many times where it's mentioned that there will be a some kind of media outreach. That doesn't just get done doesn't just magically happen. So yes, it's going to cost anyway. We have to do it. I think we'd be really foolish.
So, but at
Not
this
to.
time, it sounds like there hasn't been even though there's been a vote on how each town will have vote rights
Representation.
and representation,
Yeah,
and by the proportion of their,
and
so forth.
any monies would also be proportional to
then that's
population and.
But at this time, they have not discussed any fees for the alliance to be paying. Is that a true statement?
I haven't been to every single meeting, but I've not heard a particular fee mentioned.
Okay, so the alliance at this point is basically a bunch of volunteers that are helping out each town, and the BCRC has a major representation on this as well.
Right.
So they're basically, at this point, is trying to put this together with this alliance, which will then come out later with more information on the actual implementation plan and how things are gonna be handled from this solid waste implementation plan for Bennington County. That's yet to be finalized.
This
says
is,
draft
this
in
is,
front of me.
yeah, it keeps saying draft. This is the most recent draft that came out
April
today,
13th.
yeah, the last few days. April 13th.
So, and I guess that's where I just wanna make sure that, because we're gonna ask these guys to vote and sign this thing,
Yeah,
that they understand at this time that there hasn't been a fee accompanied with this joining of the alliance. The only thing that
there's
you've done
been
is,
numbers talked about, but
the only thing that you're really able to see and you're voting on is how the votes have been divided based on population and so forth. And what those rules to the voting would be on that page as well for majority of anything that's voted on or acted upon. So this is one of a couple of things we're gonna deal with tonight. So I guess from what I've been seeing in the paper, most all the towns have signed on this.
yes.
I don't
Yeah,
know
we're
which
kinda
ones
the
haven't yet.
laggards.
I think
You're comfortable with this?
I am. But then I'm really in favor of recycling as much as possible, and you know, I'm very environmentalist in my outlook, so I think it's a very good law. But I will say it's an unfunded mandate. It's a big mandate, and there's no money in it. So, but it was unanimously passed in the state legislature.
they didn't pay anything.
You know, so
They never raised
it's
money for that one.
but it's
So basically,
it has to happen. You know, this.
We're paying now to throw trash away. You know, the transfer station
Right.
person will tell us how much money we're spending a year just to manage our own trash. So there's a cost currently. The concern that I would voice is I go back to Act 60 in the school. You know, that was a low thing for us, but it spiraled. And if this is an unfunded mandate and it basically has no costs associating telling us what things are costing, that's the scare that I have. Not that I don't think it needs to be done, because I do. I think it needs to be done. But we as individuals have to be concerned with our taxpayers.
well.
ahead.
I'll tell you, the only problem that I have voting on it is, you know, actually what we're voting on is, we're gonna vote to join,
And it's
and someone's gonna send the bill, and we're gonna pay for it.
But we don't know what the bill is yet.
Oh, no, I understand.
That's not the first time that's happened.
So, I mean, that's a little, you know, that's not the way I like to do business, but, it's something from, maybe me, I might have to think about that. I don't know any more than that. I know that other people have joined, supposedly, and they're not worried about paying. Go ahead.
my understanding
Maybe
is
you can clear me up.
No, I agree with Henry as far as that goes. The only thing, I guess it is a law. It's going to be a law.
It
It's
is.
going to happen.
yeah.
We'd definitely
doubt.
we'd definitely be better working with a group than we would try
Yes.
one more hurdle to solve alone.
Yes.
And it's
It-
not like one person's. It's not like a private entity is charging us the fee or coming up with the fee once we're all
No.
members of the
no.
group. So, and every Bennington County town is part of the group or will be, I'm sure. So, I guess I agree on joining at this point.
It is there. You know, the contract does lay out clear ways of withdrawing if we're not.
Now,
happy
why
with
at this point is there not a fee, or why at this point do we not know the fee?
This has been, I'm sorry.
It seems like they would,
The right
and
person to
before
answer.
they try to sell you the car, they'd tell you how much they want for it.
Yeah.
That's all.
Well, that's, I mean, I'm not, hey, listen, we know we're gonna have to do it at some point.
Well, you know,
My
this-
whole thing is, I would like to know what I'm getting into, just because. Does that make
Well,
any
yeah,
sense?
yeah, and all I can
I'd just
say
like
is,
to know,
I
that's all.
think most of the money for that funds this is going to come out of
Eh.
the
User fees.
customers, user
Now-
fees,
Right.
people, or us.
Now, with that said,
But at least the recycling is free.
right.
So it's an
right. Well, but with
it's an
that said,
incentive to,
I'm hoping that
So
all the towns involved is going to look at that cost.
oh, sure.
You
Oh,
follow
yeah,
what I'm
it's a
saying?
very big issue.
I mean, of
I will
course,
tell you from
of course.
attending the meetings,
Okay. So-
everybody's concerned about
so,
costs.
but I mean, I really haven't heard from anyone else speaking on it. Okay, so I'm going in this blind.
The
I gotta be honest with you.
Well,
You know
Mike-
what I'm saying? I haven't heard any,
Well, Mike has
what
been down
feelings
here-
of anyone else.
Oh,
You follow what I'm trying to say?
you mean your constituents or
No,
just?
no, other people from other
Well, Mike-
towns
Mike-
and.
Oh.
Well, yeah, we've heard from
Oh,
BCRC.
yeah, we have, yes, yes.
You know, but from other towns, I'm with you. All I've heard is what I've read in the paper,
Right,
and they are signing on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they seem to,
They're
it's,
voting and they're signing on.
Right.
So
and they're very, very
And I think-
smart people.
I'm not, you're right, I'm not
I'm
saying
impressed
that.
with how much they understand and,
Right,
But again, I think it's as RJ says, you better if you're working as a team than trying to run this one alone.
yes.
well, I don't think that we're gonna run this one alone, you
No.
know, I mean, I mean,
May I add,
There's,
may I add something?
Yeah.
This is the law. I mean, this is what has to be done. And like you said, Henry, you can't run it by yourself. We have to do it. The cost, we don't know. And we're not going to know until you get a year under your belt and see, but then we're going to be implementing more things, so that's going to keep changing. It's, and it's like I said in my interview, you gentlemen, I said it's an unfunded mandate, and that's exactly what it is. After
That's right.
having read it, it is what we have to deal with, but we need to get the solid waste implementation plan in place. And I think that this has been revised somewhat from the first draft that I had read. The only thing I have a question with is the enforcement. They're gonna have the Bennington Police. Do they have authority down here?
yeah, enforcement is a hard one for me to get my head
You
around
know,
too.
That's what this says, the
Yeah.
Bennington Police. I don't
With
know
haulers.
If they have.
With the haulers.
That's with the haulers, and also, there's also, I mean, at a certain point, it's going to be illegal to throw out recycling in your trash.
Yeah.
Now,
So
who's gonna
it is-
I don't believe we
enforce
have any
that?
haulers in our town.
no,
we
no,
don't-
no,
We don't have any haulers that drop off.
at our transfer, right.
No.
They're in town, but
Yeah.
but that,
The only thing,
we have no control over that.
the only thing I have to have is have their certifications for them hauling the stuff away.
Oh, yeah,
That's it.
yeah. You've
I
got
have to have that. I do not have to have, there's no public haulers coming in and dumping things here, so we're fine with that. But like I said, the only thing that I could see in this new one is the enforcement by Bennington Police. Do they have authority here, or can we give them authority?
What pages are you
So
on?
that's the next last page. It's Article 9.
You're looking at something different than we are.
Oh, I'm looking at the Bennington County Solid Waste Alliance interlocal contract. Is that what it is?
Yeah, but you've got different numbers.
Well, this is one. This is what I have right here.
Yeah, we don't have that page.
Let me see that.
It doesn't have a page number. The one before it was at page 7 before.
I don't have a number on mine. This is what was in my packet.
I think you have a copy of the one from Bennington.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, it's been,
Well, this is what I have in my packet. That's the only thing I know. What do you have
Well,
for
here,
enforcement?
powers and duties, that's Article 5.
No, let's go to 9.
start from the front.
Article 6.
Let's see if you can find 9 in there someplace.
We don't have 9. The 9 we have is dead there. And then that's
That must be one of the important
the
ones.
whole apartment.
They got rid of that.
These are the things that we have.
Okay, well, then there you have it. I have a different one than you folks have, but that's something that.
Well, we're not
that-
signing that one.
No, I was gonna say.
What
Well, see,
he-
that's what kind of got me through me a curve when we're discussing this.
What Tom is talking about is in the ordinance. That's not
Oh,
going
the
to be
ordinance.
approved today.
Okay.
It's in the ordinance.
You just don't have time for the ordinance today, or?
We're gonna talk
Ordinance
about,
needs to be warned.
Oh, right.
That's the one that needs to be
Yes,
warned.
gotcha.
So that's-
You're talking about the one with the draft.
now we're talking about join the Solid Waste Alliance, Bennington County Solid Waste Alliance
The
interlock
interlocal,
contract.
Which
interlocal.
turns
Oh, I've
into
got
this
two of them.
contract.
I've got one that says draft and one that's all waste and
You have the draft slip.
You might have two things attached. on
I
that.
have, okay. But that's what I'm saying, the Solid Waste
Well-
Alliance has the,
I'm sympathetic to your question because, you know, there's quite a few things that are very, very good ideas as law, but tough to enforce. I can't, I mean, in a town where people throw garbage over the bank, when they don't want to pay the fee, you know, they just take it up in the woods and take their TVs up there and shoot them. You know, it's
TVs are
good.
free, that's it, TVs are free.
It's, yeah, I know. Rather than, you know, put something toxic into the environment, rather than drive it over and give it away free at the transfer station. But all I'm saying is that when you have that kind of response from some people, I think you're going to have, it's, you know,
Well, I
not
think all- I think
everybody.
all- I think, well-
Obviously, most people
Well,
don't do that.
I think all towns have that problem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just,
Well, and
it's,
the-
We all
it's
have that
tough.
problem.
It's a tough question.
Yeah, one at a
enforcement.
time. I think one of the things is, in our town for a long time, we were making sure people had stickers before they could leave things. And I think part of that is this statute that they're enacted. Some of the things, like electronic things and some of the other stuff, you don't have the sticker anymore. You have to accept, which is different than what it used to be, because we would say, hey, if you don't have a dump sticker, we don't care if you got recycles or not. You can't put it in here.
Right.
But that's changed.
And
But I don't know if the people out there know that that has
Yeah.
changed.
And then in a few years, you're going to also have to accept yard waste.
We've started to do
We're
that.
doing it now.
Oh, you're already doing it. Yeah, you know, I mean, a lot of this stuff is things that are already being done.
Yep, I guess we've talked this one because we got a couple more of this
Yeah.
similar things to do with this. What's your pleasure with this Bennington County Solid Waste Alliance interlock contract?
Interlocal.
Interlocal, I'm sorry. Interlocal.
Interlock, we'll interlock.
That's my fear. Gonna be locked into something.
No, there's ways of getting out of it. It's right in the contract.
Do you know by any chance what towns have joined at this point?
I know Bennington signed theirs.
I think almost,
There was a bunch of minutes.
there's a lot of them. I want to say most of them have. I don't know.
Question, just a question, because I think we wanted to move on this thing, or do
Yeah,
something with it, do something with it, anyway. Does it have to be done tonight?
Yes, I mean, not,
Well, and the reason why I'm saying that is we've got a new supervisor that runs the transfer station, and I think he's very knowledgeable. I mean, if you wanna just say, the problem what I got right now is what I'm hearing is what you have read isn't the same as what we've read, and now I'm getting a little bit, so just tell me what you, I'm looking for some guidance.
from me?
No,
from
whoever,
him?
no,
I think-
yeah, from everyone.
You
You follow me where I'm going?
need to get this passed
Yeah.
Okay, well, no,
really, really soon.
well, okay, well, but
You
what
got
I'm,
two documents here, and that's why you're having a problem.
Is that
Listen,
what we have in there?
If
okay.
you just read the
All right,
first
very
few,
good then.
yes, they were.
I just wanna make sure everybody's on the same
One
page,
paper
that's all,
clip, two
and
documents, okay.
and if everyone wants to agree, we'll,
All right, we're good.
So basically, if you read through the
Has to be
first,
affordable.
if you had read the first few pages,
right.
It's just something that.
Oh, I know, yeah,
So I'll move to,
Did we accept it?
Get a second.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion to accept it and sign this interlocal contract.
So
Are you
you're
okay?
voting to join the alliance.
Right.
Join the alliance.
Yeah.
Good.
It's okay.
Yep,
We've
good.
got time's against us.
Good.
Okay, any further discussion? We talked it to death. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, okay. We all need to sign one of these things and,
The next thing is you're gonna sign the actual contract.
yes. Well,
I have, this one here is gonna be used for,
okay,
The actual?
yeah. And I think that's what we just voted on, was to
Yes.
join and sign.
to join.
Which
Are you
means,
sign, you got it all in one motion then?
yes. Okay, now we need to appoint a person to be town representative for the Alliance. Are you the town representative on the Alliance?
Yeah, I'd be happy to do that
Okay,
as a volunteer.
okay.
And my name is not Meg, though, which is
Megan, right?
the SWIP.
Megan, Megan, if I get it right here. What, they got Meg on it?
Yeah, on the SWIP, the most recent solid
Okay.
waste implementation plan.
Okay, it's Megan. Randall, get a motion to appoint.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 thank you very much.
Do we not also have another opening on that BCRC?
Oh,
We're
yeah,
supposed
you
to have
kind
three
of.
members?
I
We
was-
only have two at the moment. The reason why
What
is.
do we
were
have
you
now?
interested in
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to,
being a member?
Well, that'd be great.
be a member and
That would
be
be-
involved with it because I
That'd be
think
super.
it's gonna directly affect me and any changes, instead of getting them secondhand, I'd rather be there.
Yes.
And,
That's actually one reason why I kind of tried to drag you into the first vote.
So is that a
Are
mo-
you following me?
So is
Yeah,
that a?
Okay,
is that
that
a
way
mo-
everyone's,
do
Is
that.
that a motion?
a motion, yes.
To appoint him to the
Yes.
BCRC?
Good.
Let me put that right over there.
You're appointing him to the BCRC or as the alliance representative?
We appointed her as the Alliance
Alliance.
representative?
Got
Right,
it.
and that was,
He's
We
we
going
did
to
vote
the
on
He's
that,
a-
right?
BCRC.
Yes.
Yes.
He can go to the Alliance meetings, he can, but watch, they have other ones that you can join too. And I'm sure
I
they'll
don't
keep you
get to
busy.
every meeting down like you guys are.
I gotta say, they will keep you busy if you let them. So,
Yeah.
but you now are appointed so you
Lots
can,
of reading.
That,
Very good.
okay? And so I had a motion, a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. So we've done that. This, SWIP. Approval. What's this, solid waste implementation plan? That's,
Yes.
we
which-
have a draft in front of us?
You
on that?
have, you have a draft. This is not something that is approved by the Board of Selectmen. This is approved by the Agency of Natural Resources,
Okay.
okay?
Basically, what it lays out everything we have to do as an alliance and as towns in order to comply with the law. So there's a tremendous amount of education, of community outreach, outreach to schools, lots of work. I guess BCRC
You guys- you
has a
got some
lot
help.
of has a lot of interns who are willing to do all that.
Okay, good.
I hope.
So at this point, it's basically something that we should be not necessarily approving, but
This is your,
Reviewing?
this is your newest, latest revised version
So
that
we-
the state is
we'll
looking
review
at.
it. Okay. Any other action need on that?
No.
There is money and there are
Well,
estimated program
discuss it. I
costs
don't know
in
what
there
is, what is there to discuss?
on page.
That's what I'm asking.
Am I right? Yeah.
hazardous waste days and so forth.
I would recommend
Linda.
that our new supervisor review this and come back in
Oh, that would be
Discuss
great, okay.
more detail.
Will do. I'll review it no matter, I'll come back.
I know you're gonna review it, but then you come
Oh,
back
yeah.
and discuss it. Is that approval with the board? All right, moving on. Pay as you throw.
One
away.
other thing on that,
Ordinance,
unless Linda's got something to offer to this,
No, that's
you,
it.
I went through your
It's-
hands is why I'm
Right.
asking.
This is the newest and latest version
Super, good,
to be reviewed.
very good, excellent.
Pay as you throw ordinance for the public hearing, May 7th. Just, I guess it's a warning letting you
That's
know.
yeah, it's an FYI that we're scheduled for a public hearing. We'll hold it at 6:30 before our regular board meeting. And once we hold that public hearing. Your ordinance will be effective 60 days from that public hearing, which makes it July 7.
So we just squeak by in time for the deadline.
Well, we needed to have it in place prior to June 18th. To
Yeah.
have, at least, have gone through our public hearing process, and we will
Yeah.
have met that deadline.
Yes. Good. Do you need to discuss the ordinance or?
No, I think we're okay.
Okay,
We'll,
good, I'm out of here.
we'll let you, escape.
Okay, very good.
And now, are you ready with the mail? I'll go through the mail. And
Thanks again.
Thank you.
so I don't forget these, because I will. All right, back to the mail. All right, I have a liquor license renewal application for James and Prudence Jelly for the quality convenience on Route 346. What's your pleasure?
So more.
Any discussion?
That's the North Pownal Corner store, right, or what it is?
Yep, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Y'all need to sign it. Sign it on the approval side, if you would, please. Have a liquor license renewal application for Jeffrey Egan, Pownal Market in Delhi. What's your pleasure?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Got a few of these guys. Let's see if these are all documentation now. Okay. I have for the Vermont Agency of Transportation Department Motor Vehicle Uniform Municipal Excess Weight Permit. This is for Cardinal Logistics Management Corp. Basically, Casey has looked at this, put his stuff on it and signed it, so what's your pleasure? Should we be giving them a uniform excess weight permit to go on our roads? They have everything here, so I need a motion.
Motion to accept it.
Second.
Approve it.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I have a motion for, same thing, Casey has looked at it, the sign is for Jerry Wellspeak. What's your pleasure? Overweight permit? Excess weight, I should say. Everything's here, it's liability insurance, the rest. What's your pleasure?
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. We have another one for William Smith and Chelsea Trucking. I'm gonna, Tom, I'm gonna have to ask you to go to the other room. Do it. Thanks. And basically, William Smith and Chelsea Trucking. And the same thing, our road foreman has signed it and the necessary stuff that he normally puts on is on it. What's your
Move
pleasure?
to approve it.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Okay, in front of me, we have a resolution to approve a credit card for up to $2,000. The board already moved on this. What you need to do is approve this resolution I have in front of me. Business card resolution that needs to be presented to the board for approval at the meeting on scheduled Thursday. Okay. I'm looking for a standard resolution and I don't see it, but I do see a mass business card application. So this looks like yours
The resolution is approving the
at the end.
paperwork. That's the application.
So, yeah, because it's business card resolution form for the town of Pownal. Officer certificate regarding business card agreement authorization. I need the board approval
For the amount of,
for 2,000 max. And it doesn't say in the resolution, but that's what it is in the writing here. And basically, it has resolved that the following officers of this municipality: Alan Strohmeyer, treasurer; Linda Sharapa, administrative assistant, is hereby authorized and empowered for and in behalf of the name of the town of Pownal to execute and deliver to the People's United Bank business card application for business purposes, the agreement setting forth condition on which the bank shall, on a request, issue MasterCard jointly in the names of this municipality and authorized employees or other persons for the use only in connection with the business of this municipality, and to perform any act and to execute and deliver all instruments and documents which may be deemed necessary to carry out the purpose of the agreement in these resolutions. Be it further resolved that each employee or other person designated in writing to the bank at any time for the purpose of agreement by any officer named in the immediately proceedings resolution is hereby authorized to use the credit card issued to the agreement in the joint names of such employee or other person in this municipality, and to change purchases for the amount of this municipality by means of such credit cards and in connection therewith sign sales drafts on behalf of this municipality evidence purchase. Be it further resolved that the bank requesting the extent credit to this municipality up to a maximum of $4,000 any time outstanding with respect to charges for the account of municipality to the provisions of the agreement. Be it further resolved that these resolutions shall have force and effect of continuing agreement between the bank and this municipality, on which the agreement the bank may rely, and this municipality should be bound until the bank is otherwise advised in writing by one of the above named officers of the municipality. And the board clerk has to sign it.
So what it's basically saying is the bank has already authorized one $2,000 credit limit to the highway department. The second one is for the town, for me, for general, for a total of 4,000 credit.
Now, what I see.
That's just the agreement though with the
the
bank.
bank.
That's not with
Right.
our
No,
agreement with the
no,
employees
no, they're
that
just
they have
spelling
to
out
check
that
500.
We have two.
Right, you have two, that's what it's
That's-
spelled out.
Right,
Yeah,
yeah.
because in here it says 2,000 for the one. as
Two
well.
and two, you're right,
Yeah.
that's
Two.
right.
Okay, so you approve what I just read?
Yes.
Well, yeah.
Okay. Motion, second.
Second. You made
I made the
the
motion.
Okay, second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I'll leave it to you to print my name so that it's readable. Okay. And we have from Bill Scully an update to do where they've applied for trying to get the Brownsfield grant, and if they don't get that, they're talking about possibly finding a way to fund this testing themselves. Okay. Reminder, household hazardous waste collection for residents of the small businesses of Bennington, North Bennington, Old Bennington, Glastonbury, Pownal, Searsburg, Shaftesbury, Stamford, and Woodford will be held Saturday, May 9th at 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Bennington Transfer Station on 904 Houghton Lane in Bennington, Vermont. The collection is free for residents. Acceptable proof of residency will be required. Small business must pre-register and pay for the amount delivered by April 27th. What to bring? Any substance with labels that say caustic, toxic, corrosion, poison, flammable, danger, warning, or caution. And let's see if they have anything. This event does not accept electronic items such as television, computers. However, they are now accepted free of charge at the Bennington Transfer Station during its regular hours. Do not bring them to this event, though. Okay. And this is they have a paint. This is a reminder that there's a paint care to schedule a collection event in Manchester. It will be held on Saturday, April 18th. 2015 from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Riley Ring. We have a letter from concerned citizens. And this is to do with the solar that's going in by the wellhead. And
Proposal.
proposal for the solar going in at wellhead. Thank you. And basically what they're asking is, I'm assuming you've all read this. If you haven't, I'll certainly give it to you and let you read it. But the bottom line says, we ask you to please enact a 2-year moratorium on solar installations on water source protection areas in Pownal. And you being a farmer and me being a homeowner, water protection areas mean more than just that wellhead.
That's correct.
It's wherever anybody has a well and there's so many feet around it. So that's what they're asking for, that anywhere where there's a driven well, basically, you put a moratorium on solar installation at this time. I'm not sure what steps we would have to do to even do that. I assume we would have to warn that and have hearings if we even would do.
You know what would be in, well, because I don't know, I wonder what the setbacks are for that. How many feet?
Well, if you look at the
Because that's
drawing,
what they're asking.
well, no,
Am I right?
well, if you look at the drawings from the application that was handed in there, I want to say it's over 100 feet that they were set back. Whichever was required, the
Yeah.
standard requirement,
Yeah,
is what they
we
were.
do is 50 feet, you know.
What they were
sprays and so
doing.
on.
So basically, they were doing something in their drawings to meet a setback, a standard setback that was required from the wellhead.
That was all.
But they're looking for something besides that. They're looking for us actually to say no solar for a while until a few more studies and other things can be done. So I guess first of all, not the same whether we're going to do this one or not. Could you check in and see what it means for us to
For the
even issue a
moratorium.
moratorium? 'Cause I think there's some procedure we'd have to know and follow
Yeah,
to do that.
yeah.
So it might be better we know that before we.
The way it sounds, actually, the way it sounds is people are starting now to get a little nervous.
Yeah. And there's a,
You know, I don't know what they're getting nervous about, but they're, you know what
well,
I'm saying?
there's a considerable number of signatures on this. I
Yeah,
mean, it's
yeah.
not a short list. You know, for the neighbors and the people that live down there. So, and it doesn't hurt us to understand more what it means to
Right,
do that sort of
right.
thing. So at this point, I guess what I would say is we table this.
Well, Linda
Because
will
we're
get
not gonna
back.
take any action at this point because she's gonna look it up.
Yeah,
But we
sounds great.
table this while she looks up.
I mean, yeah.
Then you can bring it back to us, Linda, once you know what that means.
I think these folks are coming in next week anyway, so
Okay.
we'll try to see if we can have that information for that meeting.
Thank you, Linda. Okay. And the BCIC is holding an informal luncheon to discuss their activities, about having some guest speakers at their thing, and they're basically asking if people can go to the buffet luncheon and listen to their speaker. And who is their speaker? And let's see if they've got their various members and stuff. And this will be on April 29th at 12 noon at the Mount Anthony Country Club. So if people are interested in that, they should let Linda know. Okay, and the BCRC annual dinner meeting is on May 21st, where they'll be honoring the Lieutenant Governor Phil Scott, and they're asking if anybody wishes to attend that. And there's, make sure this is Thursday, May 21st at 5:30 p.m. So if somebody's interested in that, it's there also. And before I forget,
I think there was one more resolution from a People's Bank. I thought I saw two items from People's Bank. One was the
what's
credit
the two on
card.
it? Hold on, because I signed one. All attached. Let's see what we got. You got the facts attached. This resolution to be approved and signed tonight. And that has Alan Strohmeyer's and the other signer
Okay, that's-
on that. This one says board chair and you need a notary. And this one says Rich, which probably means me. Rich or active chair. And this is the application itself that wasn't
Okay.
signed. They did approve it, so I'll sign it. Thanks, otherwise you would have had to chase me down to sign this thing. And this is the one that said the $2,000 for it.
When you're all done with the mail, I'll go through it real quick before we leave here to make sure
Yeah.
that we got everything.
This one says Linda on it, so I'm assuming you sign that. Okay, other things. We have a speed complaint from Cedar Hill. I guess there was an accident out there the other day. And there's been several close calls through the time period. And if everybody got a chance to read this, but what they are asking for is us to put a speed sign out there for 25 miles an hour. And even in some of the areas to slow down to 15 miles an hour. I think we found out that the signs that was enforceable was the 25 when we did Center Street. So I think, I guess what I would like to do is ask Casey to go out there and look at it and come back and recommend where to put signs, because there's some blind corners and stuff on that. And maybe we can do a blind corner type sign and some things of that nature. Sign where the Coy Hill comes down into Cedar Hill. You know, look at it and see what proper signing really is needed out there.
But we
To slow
do,
that
but
down?
we do wanna change it from 35 to 25,
Yeah, I think that's,
so I'll move to
do that.
do that.
Yeah, well, listen, you know what, while you're at it, I think you ought to do one, from the Four Corners on Strohmeyer Road.
Doing the same thing out there running right
Yes,
through.
sir. I'll tell you the real reason. The accidents now that happens on 7, they push that traffic up.
Middle
Right
panel.
fire.
They're
Or
running up
middle panel, you know what I'm saying, now,
Okay.
into Bennington.
Okay.
And,
So let's let's tell them those
Alright,
two
well,
roads.
but anyway,
let's
but-
have them look at those two roads for
okay,
sure. and change
that's
the
what I'm
sign.
asking.
And he probably should look at some other roads in town and see if
Yes,
we should do the
yes.
same.
But
He's
that's
out
a
on them
heavy
all the
traffic
time.
road over there, and it's,
And
it's been really
But
good.
I do know that with Cedar Hill Farm, there is a lot of activity there now.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
there
No,
is
let's
some other
move on.
type of signage to warn.
Well,
Well, show it in
well,
the pickers.
let's do the,
You know, there's people that cross the
no,
road all
you,
the time.
you voted on, to reduce the speed.
25. That's the motion.
Second.
And I got a second on that. Okay, okay, I'll have that voted first. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And
You may have to go through an ordinance change for that.
Yeah, I think we do.
Oh, okay.
But what we need to do, even if he has to go through the ordinance change for changing the speed, I don't think he has to go out and put sharp turn,
No.
blind
No.
driveways.
Those are signage
If he
things.
just goes out and does that, it's a big thing. And yours, if he puts something, 4-way stop ahead a little farther back,
Well, I've got some thoughts on it, but what other towns do?
yeah.
Other towns do it, say, with, it's like, deer crossing over the next mile.
Yeah, something.
Could be from the Four Corners, like over the next mile, watch out, excess animal crossing or slow-moving
Well,
vehicles.
there's
all kinds of
standard
ways.
signage for agricultural. I
Sure,
believe.
sure there is. I know, I understand that.
Yeah, tractor
Right,
signs get
Right.
put up, they
But,
put all kinds
the
of.
problem is, if you were there, I mean, there's enough people that sat there, and seen that traffic fly through.
Well, he could do the same
You
here
follow?
when he
The
looks at
Four
this.
Corners?
No, from the Four Corners through to Bennington.
Yeah, out past the farm.
But I don't know if you have to, the problem is if you start at the Four Corners, you follow what I'm saying? I don't know if it needs to be 20,
Yeah,
boy, look at that road. You know how many cars been in that brook?
I know. Right there where that culvert is, they go.
Yes,
I know.
so I think
Well,
Casey needs to look at that.
Casey needs to look at it.
Okay.
One of the things I think that I don't see that much in this town is what you talked about, the agricultural signs, the tractor sign. In the
That's
road.
right, all that sort of stuff.
All
Oh,
that
there's
sort of
tons
stuff,
of
you
it.
maybe
Horseback riding, da-da-da-da-da. You've got them on your road, Linda, right?
But we have farm equipment out on that road all the time.
All the
Cedar
time.
Hill,
Oh,
yours.
yes, yes.
So,
Yeah.
so I think that we need to look at that sort of thing and change the way we've been looking at our roads, because we do have a lot more people driving them.
That's right, that's right. Well,
I
of
don't know
course,
how many
of course,
cattle
down there,
get out on
that
the
draws.
road, but it'd be nice to know
Yeah,
that
we
cattle
cross
sit
them. We cross them.
Well, perhaps
Car-
Casey could do another grant through the local roads program, and because that's how we acquired those signs on, especially my road, Niles School Road, and I believe the North Pownal Road.
Yeah.
What's that other one that, the grant with the 5,000 for, safety? I wonder if that would apply for signage.
That's safety equipment.
That's more towards the safety equipment for our employees.
There
Yeah.
is a dangerous road grant that's out there though, and normally they come to you when they get their information from the police departments and stuff, where there's X amount of accidents over X amount of
Okay,
distance.
they'll, okay, yeah.
You know,
And,
you know, to change the speed limit will involve doing, the road count, speeding count. I forget what you
Yeah, and the
call
trouble-
it, you know what I mean?
Well, and the trouble, like Cedar Hill,
That may
there
have
might
changed.
not be a whole lot of traffic on that road, but the traffic that is on it is dangerous. That's the problem.
No,
because
that may have changed in
Yeah, there's a
legislation.
process to go through to change the
Legislation may
speed
have
limit.
changed that this year.
Oh, for the study?
Yeah, traffic study, that's the word I was looking for.
The town itself might be able to do that instead of going through all the other. I think I read that somewhere. It's in our monthly,
Didn't we just change road speeds recently in
Well, I
Sweet
don't-
Road?
I
I think
don't-
there was a couple of roads we just did
Well, we
recently.
changed some.
I don't know, if we have-
Do we have
Probably
to
the
go through
first stop would be BCRC,
In order
right?
to
Because they do that
enforce
for
it-
towns.
yes, okay,
You have to, in
Right.
order for
They could probably do
enforcement,
all
or
that.
else they can't.
okay,
Generate all that information,
okay.
contact the
I
right
don't have a
people.
clue. I don't even know if they ever did change one,
okay.
really.
I'll give Linda another assignment. Check with the BCRC and see if we do have to have studies still yet, or wherever the state, probably Department of Transportation will tell you right away.
Yeah.
The orange
I don't
manual.
know if it passed or not. but I
Whichever,
know
but check it out.
It went through, you know.
And let us know.
Well,
But-
we'll
but
look
ba-
into that.
But basically, make sure you tell Casey that we're really looking for some,
You want him to go out and look at the areas that we just discussed and recommend signage.
yeah, and some of it being agricultural type signs.
Well, actually, we left it up to Casey to look at those and others,
That's right.
okay?
But Casey can't change the speed limits.
No, but he can come back in and tell us that there's some other places that,
Right.
you know,
We're gonna take that up in a minute. Okay.
I wonder
You
if
can
they
put a
ever
sign
had.
up, but
Okay.
it's
What's that?
whether, he could post a sign, but it's enforcement that it comes down to.
That's right.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Right. Good.
Moving on. We have a response from the person we talked about with the kennel, and what they would like to do is come in and talk to us about this position. And they were requesting first if we could do that in an executive session with them as personnel, so that they'd understand more about what the position and what we're looking to hire them for and stuff of that nature. I think that's appropriate, it's personnel. We just need to schedule them so they can come and then put them on the agenda, I would think. This is the one on Mount Anthony Road.
Yeah.
So if the board's in
Great.
favor of that, I'd say tell Linda to go ahead and schedule
Yeah.
them to come
And-
in.
and as quick as possible.
And we'll deal with it.
Yep.
Okay, thanks. Okay, the other thing we have in the mail, and we're gonna talk about, will be racetrack. So, Mr. Wicker, you might as well come up too, because we're gonna move right into your topic. Have you wait a little longer? Okay.
I can wait.
Unless
Fine.
you
I'm
want,
fine. But,
okay.
I'm fine.
Okay, this is in the mail, but basically what we do is we have a letter from a concerned citizen to do with the permit application. He must be in a butter because he got it from the DRB, and he sent us a copy, and he basically says, temporary on wheels, open door once, can't shut it,
Does this go to
so
you?
that they will come, et cetera, et cetera.
I want the
Problem
mail.
waiting to happen. So he's voicing a concern about, I guess, what is this, and
Here, you can give
what
it
is
back
the
to him.
selectmen thinking about all this? And I would say that we, rather than us try to say what it is, it's a good time for you to come
Thank
and
you.
tell us and bring us up to date.
Thank you again, Scott Weicker from the Green Mountain Racetrack, and I thank you for allowing me to appear before you again. Last time I was here, one of the things I shared with you is, as developments occur, I would keep the board updated, and that's what I'm here to do this evening. So, plans are continuing with an event on Saturday, August 22nd at the track. It'll be a music event. It will, we're expecting at this music event, most like about 10,000 individuals. although that number could climb higher, we've asked for, we've already submitted a commercial assembly permit through the state police with a number of 20,000. We do not expect to get to that number, but I want to have a high number with our goal being 10,000. So I don't want to have to come back and say, oh my God, we miscalculated. We're at 11,000 people for this music event. This event, I have met with Lieutenant Thomas McCoy from the Vermont State Police, Sheriff Chad Schmidt from the Bennington Sheriff's Department, Chief Paul Doucette up in Bennington, Chief Kyle Johnson down in Williamstown, the Pownal Fire Department, the Pownal EMS, and trying to make sure everybody is aware of what we're doing come August 22nd. We're in the process of getting a traffic study done for Route 7. In my conversation with Lieutenant McCoy at the Vermont State Police, that would be their responsibility, all traffic on Route 7. But it's a coordinated effort. This isn't just, this section. This could affect the Williamstown area. It could affect up to Bennington. So, as I shared with you the first time I met, to me, open communications is very important and being upfront. So, speaking to everybody, okay, this is happening on this date, and how do we all get together to get to that point for a safe, secure, enjoyable experience for the attendees. So we have come up with a parking plan for cars on the property, which, there's a staggering amount of parking on that property. That north pond, the big pond, your north entrance up here, south entrance down here below the solar field. So obviously this is all parking along that side of the building. We have parking all through here. We're going to add parking back here. So we have ample parking.
Let me hold that up here and you can talk about the parking. Go ahead.
So we'll have ample.
Just so that people can see it.
Yes, I'm sorry. So I'll have ample parking, whether that number is 10,000, whether that number is 11,000. There is an amazing amount of parking on hardtop. That, even though there's grass that we see as you drive on that property, look at that property, that's all hardtop underneath. And so there's great drainage there. And so from a parking perspective, we feel we're in a good place, and we will continue to tweak this. And we'll also hire a parking company to help manage the parking. Because I think one of the things that I spoke to Lieutenant McCoy about, we've got to keep that traffic moving on Route 7 so that there's no backups. So it's funneling those people into there and then having someone who knows what they're doing with a team of people help get people directed into parking spaces. One of my thoughts is to reach out to the Veterans Organization. I think there's one maybe in Bennington. I don't know if there's one in Pownal, but I'd love to see veterans be a part of this event, and they can help out. And so I think that's important, and parking is a key part of it. So we have a parking plan that we're just continuing to tweak. Now I'm going to give you, Nelson, that was a great job there. So
Take a great easy.
all right. So again, we have the south entrance down here. There's your solar panels. And Nelson, we can always review this after. Your north entrance here.
Familiar with it.
You have your large pond, your small pond. There'll be two identical stages right in this area here. If you recall from Lollapalooza, that was their stage placement there. So we'll have two stages there. Your production area is between there and that solar panel field. There's kind of a big open area right there. In front of the building, we'll have a VIP tent and kind of a sponsor tent there. We're going to figure out exact placements. There will be a beer garden somewhere. There will be food trucks, which we're planning on the north side of the building. We'll have probably this big area here where there could be food trucks, merchants. We're planning on a small local stage in this area here, which would not interfere with the two stages there. So actually music could be happening on one of those two stages as well as there, and there'll be no interference between the two. And the major entry for attendees will be here, coming into the property. This will all be fenced along here so that you just can't come in. And again, the majority of people we want to funnel through the north gate because we can probably do 3 lanes of traffic in and 3 lanes out, but we'll also use the south entrance for sponsor, artist, whatever down there. So this is a work in progress to get to where we're at. Right now we're in contract negotiations with a number of bands. The headliner at this point, pending contract approval, would be ZZ Top.
Whoa.
And I don't know if you've heard of that band, but we feel that'd be a great band for this area, and an attraction, and appeals to an older, my age audience. We're working on the contracts, we're working on the bands. As soon as we're finalized on what that lineup is, the board will be informed accordingly. Again, my goal is to be transparent and open and share with you as much information as I possibly can as I can do it. We've spoken to TAM in regards to recycling and trash dumpsters. We've spoken to All Out Waste in Shaftesbury in regards to restrooms. They do not have enough, and so we're going to A1 in Williamstown to supplement what Shaftesbury can do. Our primary goal is obviously to go to Vermont vendors first, and if they can't do the job, I would go to across the border to Massachusetts second, but we're going to do our best to work with Vermont vendors. Food court, we're working on food trucks, which would be, I think, food trucks are a really great thing to have. There's so many varied food trucks. The one thing that's important to me is that, Nelson, if you don't, we're good. Thanks very much. Great job.
I was trying to hide behind that.
One thing that's important to me is that, let's just say we have 15 or 20 food trucks. That's 15 or 20 generators that are going on, and I like to have a central generator that are powering all those trucks, because I think that's just a lot of external noise if you have that many generators. I mean, we want to be considerate in every way possible, in terms of the environment, in terms of the sound, and that's why recycling is very important. If that young lady was still here, I'd say that that's a key part for us. Using solar panels, if possible, for some of our exterior lighting or our parking lot lighting, because those towers that are in the lot right now are dysfunctional. They do not work. It's hard finding solar paneled light towers that we can put in the lot, but if we can, we will. And I'm going to share with each of you, I'll give you this plan that we have, which kind of outlines what our plan is, but I think I've covered with you what the highlights are of what we're planning for August 22nd. Now, you may have heard that we're also appearing in front of the DRB, and there was some lessons learned in our last DRB meeting, of which we have taken to heart, and Mr. Solar will be appearing before the DRB next Wednesday, April 22nd, and he has obviously we've reviewed the zoning regulations book, and if A, B, C, D, E, F is asked for, A, B, C, D, E, F will be provided to address exactly the points that the DRB is expecting to hear, and they should be apprised of that. And what's important to us is that we look at this as this isn't a one-off event. So whatever work we're doing for the DRB, and we get their conditional use permit from the DRB, that template will then can be used for the next event, because I believe every time we do an event on the property, DRB will be involved in terms of a conditional use permit. I may be wrong, Nelson, but whatever the fact may be, we want to have that template in place for this, but also for that may come down the line. So I think that the time, effort, and money spent on providing what the DRB is looking for are monies and time well spent to allay any thoughts that they may have, because our goal is to work together as a team. It does no one any good for us to be on one side of the table and the DRB or whomever on the other side of the table. To me, it's how do we come to a common consensus where, let's just say, the DRB is looking for this, well, then we can come to this, so that we can have, unlike Washington, D.C., a meeting of the minds, and we can communicate so that we can come to a common consensus. And that's our goal, whether it's the select board, whether it's the DRB, whoever it may be. How do we work together to accomplish the goal?
How do we get here? Let me discuss where you are, because you brought up the noise thing and the rest. The bottom line is, for years, people have come to the Board of Selectmen, and the Board of Selectmen have nodded their head, whether it be the circus, the car show, the carnival, the bands, or whatever is played there. But through the years, we've listened to the neighbors in the last year or 5 years complain about noise, the model planes and so forth. So what we were trying to do is to involve as many people as we can in town, and one of them was the DRB, and we were really looking at the noise part of the permitting process. And that's why you went in with a noise variance request, because everything else you were bringing in is temporary from what I can understand. In fact, I'm not even sure if the stages ever leave the truck.
They do not. That's correct.
You bring in a registered vehicle, you crank up the stuff, and then you put it down and drive it away. So I look at it like a carnival or a circus that brings in their rides and then goes away. And those things we have permitted in the past. The real thing that comes down to every time in my mind is, and I was at the DRB meeting, so I think a couple of the things they brought up was very important. I was looking at noise, but they talked about lighting and some other things that is why it goes to the DRB, so they can sort of look at that. And this was really, what do we call it, a test case to see how the process would be done and how it makes through. There might be a time when you come in and say, okay, this is the activity we're going to have here from here to whenever. Then you would come in with a permit that went to the DRB and said, we're looking for a permit to conduct these type of activities at the racetrack from now till whenever. There will never be more noise than this. I would look at that the same as any other construction permit that comes in. You get it, you build it, you do your thing. Because if you were building a stage, that's what you would do, and it would be there permanently. In this case, that's not what you're doing. But again, I think it's a good, as badly as I think both sides felt about what happened last time, I think that it's a good experience for the town, a good experience for you and the DRB to understand how these temporary things happen, come and go, where before it was always on us, the select board. So we apologize that if there was, something that didn't go quite like we thought it was, but at the same time, I think both sides are trying to work this out. So we're hoping that things go much better. And I did see the long list of things that you guys are putting together, which is good. But the only other thing that I keep getting calls on is jobs. is this gonna create any type of local jobs? Because when we had the horse track here, and it was going, there was lots of local jobs, part-time, very short, but there was a lot. Is this something that people could look forward to for local type jobs?
Absolutely, and I hope to get guidance from either the select board or somewhere else on, I have work to be done on the property, Nelson, as an example. There's jobs that are going to happen at the event itself. And how do I tap into the local market? So if something needs to be done, let's just say we need some guys to help pick up, and this is just one example. There's been trash that has been left over on the property over many years. Well, to me, I'd like to get all trash picked up, but I don't know where to go to find that bank of teenagers or unemployed individuals. I know that there's Bennington. I've met with the employment department up in Bennington, but I don't know if there's a resource in Pownal that I can go to, or how do I get the message out? I need 10 guys for this Saturday. We're going to walk the field and pick up trash, as an example. So the answer is yes. That would be our goal, to employ local folks, and I would ask for guidance on if there's who those resources are to try to get that word out so that people know.
I guess the thing what I would probably say is I don't have an answer for you, so don't
Right.
please. Okay, but I think you need to go ahead and say, hey, listen, people that are interested in part-time work, or even if there's some full-time positions, who would they get a hold of? Who
No.
would you follow? I mean, they have to. At least you have to have a list. What I'm looking for is I'm looking to see if someone to answer our question is to see if there are local people out there that are looking for some part-time work. Now, who would they get a hold of?
Well,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Do you
Henry-
have a phone
Henry, it's-
number, something,
Yeah.
and at least you would say, yes, I had 20 calls,
right,
or no calls.
right.
Could,
No, that's.
You had-
I think and it just made me think. One of the things we'll be doing is, I think as you're all aware, there is a sign holder at our south entrance of the property.
Okay.
Which we will promote this event on that sign holder. But why can't I put a sign or a banner that's that long,
Well,
that
whatever.
wide and that long, saying, for part-time work, please call this number.
you can do that up to 10 square feet. Without a permit.
You
Yes,
can,
yes.
You can put up a nice, yeah.
Right.
But you can put a
Without a
banner,
permit, 10 square feet.
yeah.
Right, and which I can do. I can be under that limit.
Yeah.
But it made me think, Henry.
Okay.
That's one way to get the
Well,
word out, because people go by there and
Right.
they say,
Well,
hey.
I would just like to, and I would like to know that. What I'm trying to say to you is, I would like to know if, to answer Nelson's question, are there people out there that are looking?
Yep.
Or are we just talking?
I don't
Does
want to be
everybody,
talking.
does
You follow
everybody
what I'm
have,
saying?
does everybody have a job in Pownal?
That's right. Or are they all happy the way things are?
I'm sure there's people.
Oh, I know there will be. Okay,
Yeah.
but let's get the word out, and at least we will all know.
Well, if you
I
put
agree.
If
I
you,
agree.
If you put up a sign, and maybe there's some local businesses that is willing to accept a letter or something where you can contact people.
Maybe Jimmy Winchester's. I've got to reach out to that guy.
Do that.
Oh, Jimmy.
We can get you a few. Also, just for the tossing around is Bob Mumley. It's 204,
Right.
206. But I could get you. Tell me what you need to do and
That's-
the job, and we could get you.
Thank you,
I
Jimmy.
could get you 10,
But-
15.
Yeah.
Great point.
I just know that they're.
I
You know,
know.
I see people who are unemployed, and when they call me up or they see me, they'll say, how can I get a job here?
And some jobs may not be so glamorous. So,
That's
but
right.
everyone has to work to get to. There's so many different things that need to be done that aren't glamorous but are necessary.
You ought to have my job.
Or mine.
Right. Okay.
You know, trash all day.
But they're jobs.
It's necessary. We all do it.
That's right. We have to work.
I'll
I
go
mean,
with you.
that's great. But
So-
I really think that this
I think that's a great
I think it would
point.
be just great that if some local people here
I'd
would,
love it, Henry.
you know, I really do. I think
Listen,
it'd
there's
be
a
great.
ton of stuff that needs to be done on that property
Right,
still.
right, right.
To get it in shape. So, because I drove it today and I go, this would take some people to help.
Well, in
Collect trash and
August is only around the corner.
I know
I'm
that.
telling you.
I agree. So I think that's a great point. Thank you for
Good.
bringing it forward.
Good.
So, does this help give an idea of what we're thinking about doing? Not thinking, what we will be doing on August 22nd?
There was one other thing that we didn't bring up. On Northwest Hill. Now, you hear about noise. I didn't hear much about the noise through people.
Yes, sir.
But what I did hear was the events and traffic on the north. Maybe Jimmy can help me on this. The Northwest Hill traffic problems that people would park and da-da-da-da. Okay? So I just wonder if, so that there would be some
Patrol.
Here. We believe that, we want to make as many neighbors happy as possible. I know that there was a petition that was going around with a number of signatures about the planes. To me, I'd rather sacrifice the planes for the bigger event that's going to happen and work with our neighbors there. And that's nothing against the Flying Club. It's just, I think that's a conscious decision that we're making for neighbor relations.
Yeah, and they were 5 to 6 days a week. With this is once a month or something.
This is this year. So there's give and take, and I think that's again
Well,
where
I
get
guess the
to.
reason I'm really pushing on that is the people have had a bad experience, and if we can do something about it, I think things will go much smoother in the future. If they're,
Agreed.
Okay. So.
And I don't know if I mentioned this last time, but like I have a big event that I do in Connecticut, and I send out a letter ahead of time to the neighbors so that they're aware of what's going on, because I don't want to surprise anybody. I want to be up front and saying on August 22nd from 10 a.m. to 11:30 p.m. This event will be taking place. And I think that's a courtesy that I'd like to extend to at least build that relationship so that I just don't want to surprise anybody.
Right.
I want to work with everybody. So,
Scott, what's your long range goal for the Pownal racetrack? We just say ideally everything works out well, you have a good turnout.
I'd like to have multiple events there, to be honest with you. That would include, although Bennington, as you know, has given up their car show.
Yeah, that was just in the paper, matter of fact, right?
I'd love to bring that back to the track. That car show. It's been there before, RJ,
Right,
as you
right.
know. I'd like to. We kind of ran out of runway this year as far as snowcross is concerned, but I'd love to do snowcross on that property in the winter months. I believe that there is the possibility that East Coast Snowcross will give up North Adams, where they've had it for a number of years, and would consider coming to Pownal. So I'd like, RJ, to answer your question directly, I'd like to have multiple events at the property. The key for me is to start smaller, which I believe this music event would be smaller, but bring things that appeal to different ages and demographics in Pownal and the surrounding community.
Yeah, I think that way you'd probably keep everyone happy,
I'm trying. I'd
Yeah.
like to.
Well, that's
And-
right. That's right.
And
It would work.
again, if once something else, the Bennington Car Show, would I like to see it happen? Yes. If something started to happen, then I'd come back to the board and say, conversations have started. Right now, there's nothing going on. I'm just telling you what I'd love to see happen, is to take advantage of an opportunity that someone's lost and bring it back here.
Yeah.
But I'm not there yet. So this is my sole focus right now is August 22nd, to be honest.
Well, the way I understand, there's no question. The car show, they haven't given up, but right now they're trying to regroup. Is that the right words to say?
Yes, but I think that's
organize
right.
or regroup or
But
whatever.
I don't think the Bennington Chamber will sponsor it this year.
I don't believe it, no.
And I believe there may
Well,
be
that's why I think there's a regroup going on, so.
Not for this year, though.
No,
Right, for next year. But so, to
future,
me-
future.
That's one I'd like to hop on sooner, because if I let it go this year, I shouldn't be. Then, next year, then I could lose the opportunity.
Right,
again.
right.
So, and that's just an example. And again, there's been no conversations. No one knows. It's just a dream of mine to bring that back to the venue that it once was at.
Okay, so if I understand you correctly, basically what you're looking at is you're trying to create this into an event center venue for a multitude of different types of events that would occur throughout the year. So it would basically become almost a full-time active place. Because I'm back to employment and things
Yes.
of that nature. So it gives people something in the town to do, but also I see it bringing, if you continue to bring large crowds to town, there's going to be other needs. You're going to need
Correct.
restaurants, you're going to need hotels and other things to occur to accommodate if it became a full-time thing for a very long time. Currently, I assume you're looking at, I know you said Williamstown and Bennington, so you must be looking for those places to house people and
We
Yeah.
have hotel and motel listing of with a 35-mile radius of this property, from to Massachusetts to New York, obviously upwards to Manchester, I'd say, or probably. Yeah, I mean, to us, this is an opportunity to bring business to our local businesses, and to bring people to this part of Vermont,
Yeah, the area,
to this area.
right.
And I'd also say that the track has been let go for many, many years. This isn't something that's going to happen overnight. So
Guaranteed.
if we can make this successful on August 22nd, how do we then do something else? And it's going to be a long runway of building back.
yeah.
And I think that's
No question.
it's a long-term vision, not a short-term vision.
Well, when the track came to town, I think that's sort of how it became. The track got planted there, and then the other stuff came after the track came. We used to have, I don't know, a half dozen restaurants in town and 2 or 3 motels and other stuff, but they all came because the track came.
Right.
Otherwise, as you see, the track left and the other things left, and what do we have left? So if we
Well.
don't get something,
Yeah.
Right. So I've already spoken to some of your local motels to start to get rooms for. There's production crew that come in. There's other people that come in, which then those people are housed, but then they need to eat, and they need to get gas, and they need this, and they need that, and it starts to
Well,
build
it'll all
upon itself.
help, there's no question about it. I mean, you gotta start somewhere and let it grow to something. So, if it's possible to grow, you know what I'm
Henry.
saying? So I agree.
And I think it's being a
I'm
community.
excited about it myself personally. I really am. I'm so. I mean, I'm sure not everyone is going to be excited about it.
There's gonna be
But
those that are
That's
not.
right. But hey, we got to move. I mean, that thing is set many, many, many years, and it's
many attempts.
many attempts has happened there. And boy, I'll tell you, I think it's great for the town. That's why I'm hoping that. I'm just hoping that that phone is going to ring, that people want to go to work down there.
Me too. Me too. I do
Okay.
too. And I think it's a community partnership.
Right.
This isn't just Green Mountain Racetrack folks and
No.
everybody. This is how do we work together?
Right.
So
Scott, one more question. The existing building, what are the plans for that? Any?
that will be
During this?
renovated. I'm hopeful the fall. The key to that building is the roof. If that roof is fixed, RJ, then the steel is fine, the concrete's fine.
There's
And
a
all
crack
that-
in that building.
That's right.
Am
Henry.
I right?
That's exactly right.
Yes, sir.
That roof is the key to the whole building.
Yeah.
And once that roof is fixed, then we can start doing something there. And again, Mr. Solar is going to be looking at it from an environmental perspective to see how we can make it as environmentally friendly as possible.
Yeah.
But it
base-
won't be used at this event.
No, sir, it'll be off limits.
I'm gonna say be secured for the event, right?
Yeah,
It'll be totally secured. It is off limits.
yeah. Very good.
Jason, is there any questions that I might be
I
able
don't have any, thank you.
Henry?
No, I've asked enough. I've said enough.
No, I've asked every
I've said enough.
question I can think of.
Hey, just, good luck.
Thank you.
Okay.
So,
Did anybody else have any questions or comments they wish to make on this?
I'm just glad that the airplanes aren't gonna be there this year.
I do have a
He
question.
lives right
Every
near
night
us.
I would go out to
Okay.
the- have my, every night Carol and I would go out to the patio to eat dinner and you're,
is it Tom?
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Thank
over.
you. I appreciate that very, very much.
The meeting is scheduled for next Wednesday
Next
night?
Wednesday.
Are we scheduling, is that being held here, or we're gonna try to locate it in
Well, that's up to the DRB. I don't know
Okay.
where they warned it.
I don't know.
They had to warn it for where it's gonna be.
It's
Hold
warned,
it.
it's warned for here in my store.
I just had that application. What did I do with it?
So the only thing I'm asking, Nelson, is I do have a letter here.
It's in the mail. She's got it. The letter went out to the people. She'll have a copy of it. Where did it say the hearing was gonna be held?
You know what I saw, I know when that,
Right here.
Okay, so on the
6:30.
22nd here, right?
6:30, right?
6:30 here.
6:30 here.
On the 22nd, you know, people for or against you should come and be heard. And the DRB will be conducting the hearing.
So my request, Nelson, is this event was approved in your July 31st minutes. And so Linda has kindly typed this letter on letterhead, which mirrors the minutes as far as approving this event.
Okay.
And I ask for a signature on this letter.
Okay, let me read this off to these guys. Dear Mr. Solar, person to the attached minutes from the Pownal Select Board meeting on July 31st, 2014. Please accept this letter as approval of your event taking place on Saturday, August 22nd, 2015 at your Green Mountain live venue located on 712 US Route 7 in Pownal, Vermont. And then it gives a zip with the stipulation they must meet all town and state permitting laws and that the town is kept informed.
And that mirrors, this is your minutes from July 31st, that
Right.
mirrors exactly what was said there.
What's your pleasure? This is for the state permit? Is that what this is going to be?
Yes, sir.
For
The minutes have already been submitted for the state permit.
I move.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, gentlemen.
One of these times, you're gonna believe it, that makes about the third time we've had to agree to this. Okay.
Hopefully that's it, Henry.
If not more.
Not more, so, I just wanted to make that clear.
And not only this
Okay.
board, but previous boards have
Yeah,
agreed to
right,
it.
so, good.
Okay.
If there's ever anything, Linda knows my contact
You want-
info.
But,
We're keeping one and one's
yes.
going with Scott.
Okay.
That's why I did it that way.
Thank you, Linda. I'm always happy to
You need the envelope?
No, that goes with,
to answer any questions if there's something I didn't answer this evening.
That goes to Linda. I don't have to sign it, do I? No.
No.
No, good.
So I thank you very much for your time and consideration.
Very
And
good.
I shall keep you updated as we go on. And the DRB meeting is, that's our next step there.
But,
Well, we
I-
appreciate
I'm
you
real-
coming in.
Yes, I am too, but please, whatever we can do to, make, the people on Northwest Hill feel more comfortable than they
Okay.
have in the past, I think it would be well worth doing.
Okay.
Okay, so,
Yeah,
Guaranteed.
and if parking's an issue, that's pretty easy, and you don't want people parking up there
right.
No, I
listening
know.
to your music for nothing,
Well-
so
Right.
it's a win-win to keep the
Yeah.
residents happy and
No, if
I
there's,
wonder if I could put up no parking signs along there.
temporary
well,
one, sure.
I'm.
Okay.
Well,
Right along
I
the
would
right of
tell you
way.
to work with our road foreman to do that.
Yeah,
Talk to the
Yeah.
road foreman,
Yeah.
Casey
And,
Madison. And if you probably provide the signs, who knows, his people.
I don't know.
I think the sheriff's department has the authority to
I think the sheriff
post,
department does
post
have,
Probably.
temporary,
yeah,
Okay.
I
Well,
think so.
here's where, it's a town road.
Yeah, well, we can do that.
And I
Yeah,
guess the question I would come, because the
Thank
question
goodness,
comes,
all
as
the time.
Linda said earlier, enforcement of something. You can put up a no parking sign, but if you were gonna ticket those people, does the board have to move to put those no parking signs there to make that official along the road so they can enforce it?
I think there's a difference between temporary no parking and
yeah, in
permanent
permanent,
no parking sign
yeah.
Okay.
for an
enforcement.
event or
Yeah.
emergency.
But I
or
think the sheriff, or
they all fall under the same thing.
police or sheriff.
I will
Department.
definitely speak to Sheriff Schmidt about
Okay,
this.
Yeah.
sorry.
Let-
But do you
And then let
recommend,
us know then.
do you
Talk
recommend
to-
Casey Madison as well?
First,
Yeah,
talk to the sheriff, see what the story is.
Okay.
Because I would inform Casey Madison that you're doing that because you're doing it along a town highway.
Okay.
Would you be able to just share with me Casey Madison's contact info?
442
Okay.
2056. That's the highway garage.
Highway
Yep.
Garage.
He also has email, so she could share with you.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd have to go look that one up.
Okay. I can always send you a note on that. Thank you very much for your time, gentlemen.
you.
I appreciate it. Nice to see you again.
Thank you, and we
Jimmy,
really do
thank you for
appreciate
being
it.
in the audience.
But it's,
And Tom, you too.
yeah, but as
Well,
quick
all
as
right.
we can, let people
Very
up there,
informative, Scott.
notify them that, we're gonna do everything in our power to not have any parking up there. I think that,
Agreed.
Be-
Once we get through DRB,
yeah, please, yep.
and then the gates are wide open at that point, and we are
Very
full
good.
throttle.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Good
Thank
luck.
you. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
RJ. Thank you, Henry.
Yeah, good luck.
Are you,
Jason,
are
take
you,
care.
are you coming on the 22nd?
Yes, sir.
Christie? Oh, yeah.
I love coming up here now.
Very good.
Yeah, well, Steve was here by himself.
Thanks
last
so
time.
much.
Yeah,
very
well,
Thank you. Nice to see you.
I think they've done their homework, or tried to anyways. I hope it's,
Well, I hope it,
I hope it's enough, you know.
well, if it isn't, then the
Then they'll-
DRB can
they'll
let them
figure
know
it
what else they need.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Very good.
Oh, yeah.
Good luck. Thank you.
Hey, I lost my agenda, is that it?
Tom's next.
Oh, there we go. And I asked me put first. How will that work out for me?
You're at the last.
Yeah, I see that. That's a pull I have here. I noticed that. Well, actually, the way things were going, that is actually the best, to be quite honest with you. You gentlemen have my report. I mean, I've been on the job for a week and a half, actually, and there's a
I got one there
There's a
somewhere. I
lot
just
of
saw it.
things. There's been a lot of assessment,
Yeah.
observation, and assessment, and so forth. With some of the things that we have there, there's some things that we need to move on immediately, literally. Some things, can certainly wait. Some of the physical plant things, but the one thing that I really would like to get done as soon as possible is redo that building and get that door put on the north end, because that is, it's not safe. If somebody pulls up there, we're in the building, their truck catches on fire, they can't move out, we get to burn up with it. It's just frightening. It doesn't pass any safety thing. I mean, I was in there 10 minutes and it just hit me like a ton of bricks. And I've done a lot of safety things. I've done OSHA stuff and everything all my life. With this construction, and that just absolutely floored me. Once I'm in there and experiencing it, it's just really. I mean, there's some things we have to do with that.
Tom, I see your
Let's address each one at a time. Go ahead.
I see your list, Tom, and it by the looks of it, we should throw this building in the dumpster out there, the building material dumpster, and get 3 prices on building something halfway adequate
For one of these
in
shed
size and safe and to compliance. Something you can put your computer, something that the rain's not
Well, I
going
mean,
to run down.
if you'd want to do that, I really don't want the town to spend that kind of money right now.
I don't see
I
a lot
think
of
we've
money
got some
though
things-
compared to what. By the time you get done your list fixing what needs to be fixed,
Oh no,
how much is a 10 by 15 building going to cost?
Well, here's the thing. This stuff right here can be done. A lot of this will be done in house. I know somebody can do that, and it's a lot cheaper than hiring a contractor because they're not paying.
Okay,
contractor.
you're gonna try to do this?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Almost all this,
okay.
almost except for the battery storage. That you're going to have to get somebody to come in and
Okay.
jack them. This is the amazing part about it. You have a good roof and nothing else. And it's an absolute miracle. It's still
still
standing. I mean, I can't imagine how I made it through this winter after looking at it.
I'd like to make a motion for the select board members to take a good look at this. I never have. I pulled up to the window, paid my money, and moved on to see just what we're
Right.
dealing with.
Okay. That makes
Do a
sense.
visit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I would recommend that the board members go over whenever they want, take a look, then come back.
Okay.
Versus having a site visit with all of us there.
That's fine.
And then,
That'd be fine.
Okay.
That'd be fine.
are you there any specific day or?
I'm there usually most of the days. At least I'm gonna, I have been to this point, and I'm still going to be doing it for probably the next couple of weeks, because I can review this material and so forth, and I'm going to be over here working, and Liz hopefully going to help me with find some of the things I need to get these past due reports in.
Certification reports?
Well, yeah, the reports were due last December, that were due in March,
Yep.
We have to.
The quarterlies.
The quarterlies haven't been done the last 2 months, the last 2 quarters. Then I have to get the recertification. I need to get the information, for all of this.
Part of the recertification requirement is for the board to, as a board, do an inspection
Yeah. So
of the
we could do-
site, so eventually that'll
Well, I
have to
mean,
be scheduled.
If you want to do it individually,
Does the board has to do it as a board, or does the board?
The
Can
board does it,
But can the board go over individually and do the
Individually, I mean, I
inspection?
you have to write up something formal as part of the
Yeah,
certification
we'd come back
paperwork.
and discuss
can
what we
discuss it. I mean,
see.
you guys just come over when we're open, and you could actually, even if I'm not there, if you have the list, you can walk around and take a look.
I'm just thinking I'll drive over on a Saturday or something and take a
Yeah,
look
I
around.
mean, and I'm going to be there all day on Saturday. Like I said, what I plan on doing is, once I get my computer and I get the stuff downloaded, I can review things and work on that there. I can work right there, be there. If somebody has a problem, a phone call, or a dispute of whatever, that's to fall on me anyhow.
Well, that's why I'm looking at the same thing that RJ said with the shed. I'm not sure if we shouldn't, that shed's pretty small. I'm not sure if we shouldn't have a shed where the person's getting the money at the window and there's a little corner desk where you can come in there if you want to work and stuff. So if you're trying to renovate what you got, that's why I want to go look at it, because I don't picture this thing as being a big building.
Well, it's not a big building, but I can certainly make it work a whole lot easier. And the big thing is moving that door, and then I can make a work area for myself. I can do stuff for the guys' lunch area and so forth. And I happen to have you don't believe it, it's a very, very expensive cabinet that I got in my home. I bought used cabinets. I couldn't use them. I couldn't use this one particular cabinet out of 17. It's very expensive. It pulls out as a table. And it's got storage in it, topped, and I have a piece of Corian top that's perfect length for what I need to do. I mean, we can do this, make this work. We don't have to spend. I really don't want to spend a lot of money. I pay taxes here too. I would just as soon, if we can keep this thing working, and I can fix a lot of this stuff. They're not big fixes. It's not gonna take forever to
I
do.
wish Rich was here tonight, because one of the questions I would ask him is the boys at the school, CDC.
Well, that was another question I was going to ask him
Because,
too.
because the bottom line is, we might do something, do a temporary fix for you with this, but have the CDC put something together for us.
Yeah.
When you talk about money, you're not talking about, but you would have to sketch up what
Well,
you
that-
want.
I can draw that up. Trust me.
Well, the thing
But
is,
then they'll know that.
they probably could do something and have it lined up for, even if they don't, not for, because we're on the other end. We're
That's
going.
right.
We're,
But next year.
But next fall,
Yeah. But if we
I'll
can
give them a job there. There's no question.
But I mean, this really isn't going to cost a lot to get it turned into what I need it to be. I'm going to have an electrician there for a day. I'm going to put Fred and I always went over how all we have to do is slide the propane tank over. We have block in there. We can build a pad to set the pad on, the tank on. We're going to have to build a step. That's why I want an in-swing door, because you don't want to swing. You don't want to have what you have out here. You're on a step and pulling the door towards yourself.
That's right.
That's not good.
Yeah.
And and then I have it laid out that it will work with the storage cabinets
No.
and so forth. I can make it work with minimal expense.
Well, we'll go take a look and then we'll come back
Yeah.
and we can talk more
Even the
about.
window when you drive up isn't convenient for me. You're trying to
Well,
read.
But that's why I think,
What do
I
you
think
Much
do
need
you
to ball up
drive?
your money and
What do you drive?
full size pickup truck.
That the big black Ford
Yeah.
out there, yeah, it's like my Tundra. I always get out. I
Poor
can't-
guy can't reach, and it's just a mess. The whole
well,
thing's
but
a mess.
again, I think again, we can go over and look and maybe there is something you do temporary. And then we
No, I
talk to
agree.
Rich and then you draw something up.
Yeah, we can
You
do
know.
that. That's actually a really good idea.
I just hate throwing money into
Well, this
something
isn't
that
going to be
worth-
much. I mean, we can take the door off and throw it onto the new building stuff. But it's, we're not going to have a lot of new stuff to buy. Really, we just have some electrical and so forth.
Well,
You know.
give us a cost estimate, I guess, is the thing, when
Well,
we'll know when we go look.
Well, I'd
Yeah.
like to talk to Rich about seeing if his guys could come out and redo that shed. We get that jacked up and so forth.
Yeah, maybe they'll even do that. Maybe they'll come out and do something.
Well, that's
now.
what I'm
I don't
saying.
know if they will or not. I have no idea if they're.
But it's
But-
getting towards the end of the school year. They're probably pretty well scheduled.
Right.
up
Well,
and
they're
stuff,
doing a
so-
lot of stuff for Habitat right now.
Well, I
and
know
stuff.
that. I read the article. It's wonderful.
Yeah,
It's
I
a
mean,
thing over at Swallow Hill and so forth.
Yeah, so
right.
they're pretty busy. But again, I think it's not unreasonable for us to look at your request and come up with something that meets your need for the moment. But again, we need to go look and see.
Yeah.
Down the road, what we're going
I don't want you coming back again a second time saying, well, I think it was right, but I'm a little too crowded now with what we're doing, because you're not there in the winter when everybody's gonna be in there. Let's think about it a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just, it is, we definitely need to have this, the computer and the stuff in there and the cash register. Ellen and I went over a lot of that. And then we'll have the tapes coming up, and cash register I chose is $50 off.
Yeah, no, I think,
I mean, everything I
Well-
did was-
well, we've discussed the building and we're gonna.
I mean, it was only $50 off.
it was 200. I'm getting it for 149. How's that?
Okay, let's go, okay, so that does with that building
Let's go,
there.
let's go with that. The grounds, that's nothing. That's
Yeah.
this stuff that I'm going to be working. I've already talked to Casey about some of the things. I leveled that out yesterday, and I think we can eliminate that pipe that's already crushed. I think we can just do it with grade, and we'll get that water from running back in towards the building. He and I'll work. Hopefully, we can work together on that and get some fill in, get some larger river stone, so it'll let the water run down through, and then we'll do
Well,
something with the bridge.
I'm glad to hear you're working with him, because one of the things is he's the guy that's gonna come and plow it and grade it and do the rest, and if you work with him now, it'll meet his needs.
We had a very, very nice meeting on Wednesday. Fred went over with me and introduced me, and
Fred's still running incognito, he's not using his real name, he's going by
Fred
Fred.
Donnie, I know his real name is. I'll tell you.
Alias.
Here's the thing. I did work for his father. It was a mess. I got his dad straightened out. And his dad's name's Harold Andrews, and Fred's name Don Andrews. Well,
Yeah, Don.
my father's name is Don Harold. So I said, I'll never forget you guys' names, So he always does that. But we refer to him as Fred. That's as per his preference, I think.
Yep,
So that's whatever. Sometimes I do call him Donnie. I don't, I don't know if
I
he likes
call
it.
him
or
Don.
not.
sure he-
I never
I'm sure he
think to
answers
call him
both.
Fred.
Oh, he does. He does. He really does. So like the grounds things, we're working on there, but we're gonna get together in some of this stuff. He and I are gonna work on things, and like this, this area we're gonna do for I want to do for the mulching and brush. Initially, he said it was they had metal. They used to use it for metal storage, and he doesn't want to run the grader in there. And I said I can understand that, because you don't want to get. And I'm not too crazy about the hoe running a whole lot in there, but we're gonna have to see and do what we can do and get it squared away.
okay.
But we'll get it. We just need to get some boulders out of there, some trees and stuff, and we're working on what we're going to be doing with the brush, because Casey said we have a chipper over there, and we're going to have to be using it. It's going to get a lot more use now.
Well, especially with the new rules.
But the new rules, we can't burn them anymore. We got to mulch it. I mean, I already contacted. Well, I saw Bob at the church on Sunday, and I said, "Listen, we're going to have one more before July 1st. Get rid of all that stuff back there, because we're not putting the stuff back there now. We're gonna get rid of that at the end of June, and that's it.
proceed. Good.
And so that's set up already too.
And we'll do it before the law change.
Exactly, that's what I said. I told him.
Well, we gotta clean up though, so now's the
Well,
time to get ready.
Well, now here's the other thing about cleaning up. I contacted a friend of mine who's in probation and parole, and they haven't gotten back to me yet about getting a work crew in there. Once the snow all gone there, stuff blown over the 2-3 acre area there, and we don't have time to go out there and try to get all that. I want to keep this place cleaned up. I want it to look decent. It's a reflection of the town. I think that when the people come in there,
Well, that gets more traffic than any other thing in town. I mean,
Probably.
am I right?
Henry, you're
Probably
probably
more
right.
citizens go through there
Well,
per
George, that's what
hour
I'm saying.
on
We're
a
out.
Saturday
Yeah.
than anywhere
Right?
I'll
else.
tell you what, last Saturday they were hauling brush in there to beat the band. I mean, you get a great day like that, and
Cleaning up.
people were cleaning up. But I mean, these are some things that I've taken upon myself to try to get things done now. And I've been doing a lot of this stuff, and I thought, well, these reports are this late already. I'll get to them in the next 2 weeks and get this stuff done. But I needed what I have in this report here. This is what I needed to get done immediately. That's what I was spending my time on, and and one of the things was like Casey, when I was in here Monday handing stuff in, Casey and I met him down there, North Pownal,
Yeah.
that trailer and so forth. And one of my questions here for you guys is is it just the stuff on the outside around that trailer that we're going to be clearing out? And there's a pile of it.
Well, we're responsible for the whole thing. We are, as a town. What do you got? You got a truckload down there? Dump truck?
Oh yeah, yeah, and fortunately there was a storage shed,
And all the
and it
snow's
wasn't
gone.
on that property; it's on the adjoining property. So and that thing was completely full. We'd had taken a 30 yarder down there and filled it up easily. But what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to get down there, because I know there's some metals in there that's recyclable. So what we may do is I may actually have Donnie, Fred, whatever, go down with the road crew. Tell them, okay, let's put this in here. We're going to take it to there, and have him go through as they're loading the stuff up, helping them load. They're going to backhoe across the street. We'll just bring it over, just roll stuff in there, dump this in the one truck, dump this in the other truck, and get out of there. And then take it up, put it where it needs to be.
They might as well take whatever the thing they could take from inside outside.
Well, I think,
Because we're gonna-
yeah, clean it up.
Why,
I mean,
why do it twice? You're there. Get rid
I
of
mean,
it.
I don't
I'm
want
going to have access to it, or
You go do whatever you got to do.
well, I can get in anything.
Well, I'm sure it's not worth anything.
I don't know.
Still, we'd have to secure it if we were to do that.
Yeah,
We'd have to be
exactly. It's got to be
when we're
secured. I
done.
mean,
Put a
so
lock
you
on,
don't
padlock on.
have any kind of a key for that at all, I suppose.
I'm sure we don't.
Well, I'll tell you what I'll do.
Put a padlock on.
I'll get a hasp and a padlock. And just
Yeah,
throw it away.
there you go.
I'll just get a
Go in,
hasp
do what you
padlock,
got to do, and then
bring it-
lock it up.
Bring a key up here, and I'll keep one down there.
Yeah,
that
okay.
we need. Okay, how'd that be?
Sounds good.
All right, we'll do that.
I wouldn't doubt that
I'll
it's
get
not
out and take a
unlocked
look
now.
at it before we. And see, Casey, because there's still frost, and he doesn't, and he's not gonna be able to get out on some of the road stuff. He wants to get this, ASAP.
Yeah,
Get this
yeah.
out of the way because once you get the frost out, then he's got a lot of work to do, and I know he does.
Stone and mud. And
So this is what we're gonna.
Yeah.
This is how we want to. I want to attack this thing and get this thing taken care of.
Yeah.
So what I'll do is I'll go down, get inside there, and take a look and see what we need to do.
Yeah, I haven't only seen the outside when I looked down that driveway that went down through there.
You know
There's a
what-
pile of blue bags or something down there.
You know what the amazing thing is? That is on a concrete pad.
Well,
That
it's-
absolutely astounded me when I saw that.
Well,
age of it and
the
stuff.
bottom line is, here's where I'm at with this. The town owns this now. If we clean it up, if the building's not worth anything, maybe we need to clean that up too. But I think we got a markable item there. It's got a
Well,
well.
yeah,
If we,
yeah.
if we can get it cleaned up and so forth, yeah, we may very well.
Yeah,
then
very
the
well.
town
Oh, somebody's
sell
gonna-
I'll give you a report on what I find in there too.
Yeah, because once we clean up, I don't want to try to sell it the way it is now because we won't get anything for it.
Well, what,
I guarantee you.
the town's going to pay one way or another.
That's right.
You know,
I
either
guarantee
give
you
it
nothing.
away.
You're not gonna get anything
Nobody's
for
going to bid.
or
you
try to
know?
clean it up and
Yeah.
If we clean
Get
it up,
something for it.
right.
Okay.
yeah, then we'll just add that to see what we can get for.
Well,
All right. Now, seeing they said they didn't have any things, I set up an email address for me,
Okay.
and it's listed in there in administration. It's PTS Tom. It's all caps. It's Pownal Transfer Station Tom. at AOL, and then I'll just.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay?
Yeah.
So I made that kind of simple, and I've contacted Mike Batcher, I've contacted some people at the state with the green up and all this stuff. We have changed the way we're doing our accounting. I forgot to do the signs. We're gonna be the staff and I are gonna be working on signs. With the new rules and new regulations, and there's some safety issues here, we're gonna try to, I'm not gonna ban children from getting out of vehicles, but we request them to their responsibility, something like this. We're gonna do something like that. And pets. I mean, I'm out there walking in dog duty yesterday. Clean up after, throw in the trash.
There's
I
a
don't care.
dumpster right there.
Yeah. Well, no, it was down to recyclables. I don't want it in there,
I know.
but that's where it was at that end. But seriously, we're stepping in dog dirt. Come on, I mean, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's
I know
probably
where you step
Roscoe.
in, but
Some people, I tell you.
I mean, it's just
Well, it's their dog.
yeah, I know, but we have a lot of things that the guys have some great ideas. I'll tell you that they do.
Well, I'm sure that, listen, and the majority of the people, once they know this, that it all takes care of itself.
Yeah, it's just a thing that we're going to have to get.
A handle on that.
Yeah, we just and what I'm looking at with like the building and the outbuildings and so forth, there's just a lot of deferred maintenance. I mean, way deferred maintenance in some of it, but it is.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to have to be attended to. Some of it has to be attended to, to sweet. And if we can't get, the kids, Rich's kids come up there and redo that building side, then we might have to get a local contractor or something to do that, because that building does have to be. We do need that storage. We have to have that storage for the.
That's where the
batteries.
books are? That building?
No,
Down-
the one where the tires are here, backhoe park's here, and it's the left-hand end.
Oh, okay.
And that's where we
The
keep the
shed
battery storage. And what I may do, if we can get it decent enough, we may move the oil storage out of that little shed and use that shed to store equipment and stuff, because we only have a little narrow thing this long to do it. You can't get in. You have to pull everything out to get in there. And we cleaned that out the other day too. We just pulled the backhoe over there and
Clean it out.
started pitching. I mean, I like to have things way more orderly than they are. And like inside, one of the things I want is a storage cabinet, just a 3-foot, 15-inch storage cabinet, 2 doors, 4 shelves, and so I can put stuff away, close it up, get it out of sight. We have stuff,
Everywhere.
it's just kind of looks like this, to tell you the truth.
There you go, talking about our town office. Remember when I told you about having room over there? Well,
Yeah, I know you guys. Oh, that's the other thing. Here's the thing. If you ever get to build a new town hall, you have on staff a pretty good construction manager. So you don't have to keep that in mind too. You don't have to hire one. I mean seriously, it'd be, he's on staff and you already have him covered. But these are things. Okay, now my guy the equipment needs. We would like to get some rechargeable walkie-talkies, some decent ones. Well, there's some people there, that you sometimes question. Okay, yeah, I've got 2 bags and their whole truck's loaded. Then they get down, they pull in the upper end. You can't see what they're doing, and some Fred might be down there compacting stuff, but he just keep an eye on. That's one thing. I was down the other day and a guy threw off 15 bags. So I can back up and I checked with Bruce. He said, well, how many did you? He said 13. I said, oh, I thought I counted 15. He goes, oh, that was 13 small bags and 2 big ones. He had 15. It was dead honest. Dead on. And I thought, that's great. That's great. And they come up with the point. It's usually, if a guy's saying he's dumping that much stuff, he's going to be dumping that much stuff. Mm-hmm. If he's saying he's dumping one and he's got a whole truckload of stuff, you got to be cautious. So we want to have this so that we can kind of keep an eye on that thing. And then the other thing is for safety. If something would happen to either one guy and I wouldn't
fall in
be
a
there,
dumpster and you don't know it and he hurt
Yeah,
himself.
you can call
exactly.
up.
They can call up. I mean, that's another one of my safety concerns, and that one's, I really would like to get those ASAP. Get a good set. I haven't really, I haven't really looked at them yet, but I want to get a good set of like commercial rechargeables that'll last for a while. You know, and then safety clothing. Do we have any kind of allowance for any kind of safety clothing for the guys or anything? For
Well, they get shoes and,
do we get any high vis shirts or jackets or anything?
We can purchase that, and we can put that towards our leagues of cities and towns grant,
Grant?
I believe.
Yeah, any safety equipment you can apply.
Yeah, well, I mean, Fred has his own, but I have some high vis shirts, but I don't have jackets and stuff.
They had
or anything
vests over
that.
I've
there.
always thought
They
that
had vests.
people should be identified as employees there.
Well,
should
and that's
have
what I'm saying.
shirts.
If we're going to get it, can
Shirts.
we get Pownal Transfer Station?
shirts.
You know,
Casey gets
on
them.
there.
I don't know who Casey's got. Must have a supplier.
I know
because
he's got stuff. The highway department.
Yeah, the
so-
board, one of the previous boards set him up with a company.
Yeah. I
Well,
would say
maybe
just go
I
ahead.
can get. I'll talk to him and see who he uses and so forth, and
Just get some.
see if they have you might even still have an account and stuff that he just runs the stuff through. Then we could, if they have an account for the town of Pownal, then
And
But I would say-
perhaps we could do that.
I
All you
would-
gotta do is pick out your shirt.
I mean, it's not like that many guys. You know, John doesn't need them because he's not leaving the shed. You know, but Bruce is going out.
they still should have them.
Yeah,
You know, I think if you've got
Well,
three,
each
four
of-
people, what is that, 3 people?
4.
There's four of you.
us.
Okay, well, I think we should, if that's something you need, then that's what we need.
I think it is. I didn't know how the
Okay.
board felt
And,
on that.
and if
No,
you've
that's
got
fine.
anybody that has a chance of a foot injury, risking, whether it be hydraulics or working on a dumpster, they have to wear steel-toed boots.
Yeah. I bought
They're up.
I bought a pair before I started.
Any of that over there.
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah. I bought a pair before I
You
started.
have to.
Because I've even working all those years in construction, I had them back in the early '70s, and I couldn't stand them because they got too damn cold in the winter. I just said,
Yeah.
They do.
But I was very fortunate. I never really had even all the construction, the blocks and everything we were doing.
Okay, but
That's
safety
it.
clothing's okay. So
Okay.
now this office equipment you got
All
listed
right, I've
here.
got you a list there, and there's going to be other sundry things. I mean, there's going to be other small items. These are just kind of the big ones, and we can go over this. And I'll tell you the truth, guys. I shopped around, and a lot of this stuff is on sale, and some of these prices do not reflect the sale prices. I tried to save us as much as I could. There's the laptop bag, a new chair, which is only a $60 one, and then this is a storage cabinet I was talking about. It's a pretty heavy duty one. Hanging file folders, Pentaflex folders, a decent file cabinet, it's lockable. Put the things in there. We have a copier over here, and it's a laser, so that the cartridges on that are high capacity, and they cost about the same as I pay for those little ones for my personal one at home.
This is a copier printer that you're talking
Yes, it's a copier printer, and then this is the cash register, and there's $50 off of that price on that, and this is what we're going to be able to set up all the different items. Like we'll have tires and the different size tires. There'll be a code for that, and we'll have it right there for the guys to see. I'm going to have them practice with it a little bit before we actually implement it. They're still going to do the same slip, but hopefully when we get this thing done, we're going to be able to put it in. It'll keep track. We can pull out the slip, then run it off. I don't have and I need thermal paper for that, so probably like $50 in thermal paper for this, the rolls. This is a business calendar. The next thing is something that I really like to have, so I can put it up there for the guys to see what the schedules are, what the times are. One of the things we're going to do is before July 1st, we're going to set the schedule up for next year because we have holidays coming in, Christmas and New Year's and so forth. And they did this to me one year, and they heard about it the day before thing. I want to do that. I want to get this thing. Get this straightened out, and then this is a little USB cable, some flash drives, and then there is the computer, and it is actually $3.99 as of tomorrow, but on Saturday it goes back up, and I have it reserved, to tell you the truth. I had a lot of confidence in you guys.
What are you using the USB cables and the memory
that
USB drives?
the flash drive?
Yeah. What do you use?
That's just for storage. If you want to put it.
I know what
put
it's
it in
for.
here. Yeah, but I know
What are
you.
you
Do. I know
using
you
it-
know.
What are you
Well,
using it for? What are you trying to store? What are you putting on it? That's what I'm asking.
Oh, any of the spreadsheets and any of the stuff I have to do with the state.
So this is
So I'll have it for backup.
Okay, that's the
It's
word I
backup.
wanted to hear.
It's a backup. Is what it is.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. That's what it is.
That's what I thought you were going to say to begin with.
Yeah.
It's a backup.
Well,
device.
yeah, and then and, you know, cable and so forth.
Just
But I think this,
buggy.
and then the other thing I do want to get, they have a remote keyboard. I can't really work on one of those things. My fingers, the arthritis is too bad. I need a bigger one and a remote mouse. I don't like doing all that stuff. And like I said, there's going to be a few other things that we have to get, but this is what we'd like to get. You know, some of the stuff is ordered, some of the stuff is in stock, and I can pick it up tomorrow. And I've been working with a very nice young man up there at the Staples, been very helpful.
Question for you.
Yes, sir.
What kind of money?
Right at the bottom.
At the bottom there.
I never even
It's going
looked.
to be under 2,000.
Okay.
$1,750.
Well,
So
the-
it's 1766.
That's the highest.
Yeah, but that's even high. I think
Well, that's okay.
You want to move to spend up to 2,000 because he
Yeah,
talked about
right. I just want to know where we're going with this thing, and
Well,
that's
put a
all.
cap on it
And
like
leave
you
it
did
up
the
to you. I mean, it's nothing
My only concern is not the price, but putting $2,000 worth of equipment in that
it's not going
shack.
to be in that check.
That's why I asked the question.
None of it?
Well,
Please?
the cash register is, as we said before, you want to be bolted down, that's not a problem. The printer is.
Bolt that down, too.
The storage cabinet, of course, is going to be there.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, okay.
You know, but the computer will be in that case and with me. It won't be left there.
The USB drives, the cables, and
Yeah,
all that
well,
stuff's going to be with you.
Yeah.
The other
Pretty
things will
sure
be
the
bolted.
printer wasn't even left until the place is secure. Do whatever you're going to do.
Yeah.
Change doors and make it.
Well,
Yeah,
and here's
cash register or
the-
anything
well, here's-
shouldn't be until it's done.
yeah.
Here's the other thing. I had Barb set up last week that hopefully next week, if I get everything in here, he's going to come up, put all the antivirus stuff and everything on there. And I do need to get, this does not have programs. I'm going to need like permanent Microsoft Office. Actually, all I really need is Word and Excel. That'll be good enough for what I need to do.
Get the standard Microsoft Office for home use, because that'll have basically those things, and it won't have the big stuff like PowerPoint and other things on it. You don't
I'm not
need
doing that anyhow.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
just
so,
basic
okay.
Office.
But actually,
Basic
when you,
so I'll just pick that up when I get this.
Because
Anyway.
otherwise, you're going to find you might be in a spreadsheet, and then you need all of a sudden they send you something that's in Access versus.
Well, see, they
Basic
have,
Office
see,
will have
the one that Jim had in his health office thing, but he emailed me all the stuff. It's down on my computer down there right now. I have it there. I've printed a lot out. I've been looking at the spreadsheets and some of the other things. And I said, boy, I hope this is in Excel. And it was. I was rather relieved because I don't want to do all those pages over. So it's, this is what we need to do. This is what I need to get started. And
Well, I have no trouble with I guess I'll ask the board to make a motion to spend up to $2,000, but nothing goes in that building until it's secured.
yep.
okay.
Get a motion to that.
Yeah. Do you want me to move on that? Yeah, I'll move. For that.
Second.
Yeah, that's why I brought it up.
Okay. Any further discussion?
Who's second?
And the safety equipment you're gonna take care of right off the bat.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to do something. We need a motion to buy the walkie-talkies too.
That's all that list, ain't it?
Well, that's
Yeah.
no, that's not on the equipment list. No.
I think you can
Well-
get those right through Staples, I believe
Well, we
they sell 'em.
made this up to $2,000. Would that be enough?
I don't know. I don't know how much a good set of walkie-talkies costs.
Well,
To be quite
spe-
honest. I didn't research that, Nelson. I'm sorry.
Well,
Gas,
research
it
what you're
should be.
buying.
Could be, couldn't it?
Yeah, they're usually 50,
Well,
60 bucks.
okay,
Let's
we
say-
moved for 2,000, and if something comes up, come back.
I'll get you
Fair
started.
enough.
We'll do that.
That'll
Okay,
get
that
started.
sounds fine.
Aye. Any further discussion on it?
No.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay,
Thank
very
you for
good.
coming.
Okay,
Good.
thank you, gentlemen. And that was interesting to hear about the racetrack too. I'm kind of
Yeah.
glad I did sit around there.
Well,
Yeah.
That was worthwhile.
Well, I
Don't have to listen to
think.
everyone.
got a motion to adjourn?
So,
Wait,
oh,
I have just a couple questions.
yeah, go ahead.
Go
Should
ahead.
be quick. How are we doing on the electric and changing all the things we have to do with this business or this office?
Scheduled for Monday.
Really? Okay, great.
Good.
And the second thing, how's our drug policy coming as far as the thing we got from the leagues of cities and towns.
I don't know, you guys.
We
are
got the
ones-
boilerplate, so did we ever
What do we
make a-
need to do from there?
We just have to make a motion, I think, for Linda to,
Is that a motion? Linda to contact VLCT and see
well,
what,
it's all.
see what
all the
has to be done to do the
information's here.
test?
Yeah, I think all we have to do is put Pownal and
Good evening,
sign it
gentlemen.
and send it back.
Linda, and Karen.
And
Bye-bye.
it explains everything right from A to Z, for the drug policy.
Oh, you mean to create a drug policy?
No,
essentially.
they
No,
created it for
no,
you.
It's already created.
It must
It's
have been
done.
the day, week I wasn't here, right?
We've had it for a while.
Okay. Well, I have no trouble with that. I guess the question I was asking is, when do you want to do the test? Is this something you set up with the VLCT?
We have to sign up for, we have to get a drug, we have to have a drug policy and do the paperwork before they just come in,
Then they'll come and do a random?
one step at a time, yeah, yes.
I don't have this policy in front of me, so if you
I ha-
guys have seen it, you can make a motion and move to approve to sign it. I just haven't seen it.
And there.
There it is. I've got mine over in the,
Well, this-
I know I
read
took-
this, yeah.
you
It's a
recall
boilerplate
that?
they give,
Well, I don't think I was here for it, but I've seen
it's
it
a
in my
boilerplate they
packet.
give every town.
Okay, there you go. There you go. Yeah, mine's in my other folder.
Okay, guys, what do you want to do with it?
It's a federal requirement, so I think we should move on
Nelson,
it
you're good at
immediately.
recommending. Go ahead.
I haven't read it yet. My recommendation would be for the board to go ahead and move to approve the drug and alcohol. This says testing manual. There must be a policy here though somewhere,
That
right?
tells, I read it from cover to cover, that tells you anything,
Is there a
anything and
policy in
more.
here though?
Yes, there is,
Because that's really what you're asking to do is to approve a policy, right?
there is.
Let me find the index.
I think you made that motion anyway, already. Didn't
Yes.
you make a motion? Second.
Oh, those are mine, no, that's something.
We can discuss it.
That was a policy. I was gonna say,
No.
no.
Is that the one written by the league? Is that
Yes,
the policy you're approving?
yes.
Okay. So you got a motion and a second to approve the policy written by the league. Any further discussion?
Apparently,
All those in favor say aye.
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 I haven't read it, so I'm gonna abstain. I don't know what I'm approving.
Good.
Not that I don't think there
Do you have a
should be one.
copy?
No, I might have a copy of this
We're
thing,
all
but
given a copy of that.
that I have.
It was quite a few weeks ago, we got this.
We talked about it, matter of fact. It was,
Yeah.
it came over our, in one of our meetings. I'm not sure exactly how, when, or where.
Actually, Linda, seeing as how we haven't adjourned, we can approve those minutes probably. So those three people.
Oh, yeah. Which,
There was enough
the
for-
ones, yeah, because I
It
was
wasn't
there.
because he wasn't here.
He wasn't
Yeah,
here.
yeah, which one's, the date, I just had them in my hand.
One was at the garage last week.
Yeah, that was the one.
The night I wasn't here.
I think it's right here. That's the one, right?
I need a motion to approve 4/2/15.
Oh, let's see.
Who was there?
Okay,
Who was here?
I think I was there.
I wasn't.
I was there.
4-2.
Was I there?
Nelson,
No, three
RJ,
of
and
us.
Henry.
I don't think you can, I don't think.
Nelson,
you can-
RJ, and Henry was here?
Yeah.
Okay.
4-2.
Yeah.
Get a motion
And,
approved.
Yeah, I moved to approve, but,
RJ?
I don't wanna vote yet.
Yes, second.
Okay, then go ahead. Read, because if I can vote on it, then that's the second. That's not the one at the garage. This is the other one. I'm looking for that policy. You guys are reading your minutes. Better we get it out of the way now, Linda, than adjourn and have to deal with it later. I swear, if anybody gave that to me, I would have it in here.
When I was reading through this, this is just one statement in this drug and alcohol testing program. All employees subject to these standards, including municipalities, can be inspected by federal DOT personnel. Employers found to be in non-compliance could be subject to fines. You know, it's amazing. The town has got away with it as long as they have.
Well, it's just that what I'm looking at, this is a manual that talks about testing and so forth. But I was looking, and again, I haven't looked at this, but it was put in my folder.
Can we go back to the other set of minutes for
All
the
right, one more
9th?
set of minutes, yep, go ahead. What's the
What-
other
what-
one?
9.
Who was there?
Rich, RJ, Jason, and Henry.
So they can approve it.
I move to approve it April 9th.
That's this one here, right?
Yep.
Okay. The only thing I see on this, minutes is, we talked about purchasing a 1-ton truck. I don't, at one point, we thought we was gonna have Casey go ahead and see if we could get some bids on one. Or did we want him to get, I'm lost, actually. I'm looking to see whether or not we said we wanted him to get the specs together so that we could see him to go out to
We
bid.
did ask him to do
Is
that.
that was, okay, just so that was clear, okay, so it's very good. Yep, go ahead. Yep, I agree with these minutes, yep.
Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I abstain, I wasn't there. Okay. See, this all talks about the program.
If I could get the signatures for those, thank
Okay,
you.
anything further? Take a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second, out of it?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
All right.
There is a drug alcohol testing policy in this thing.